It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, welcome back in. Wet and Wild Wednesday. The humidity will be high. We'll keep you cooled off for the next few hours. Rothman and Ice, Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, and the Cannon at the controls. Boys, good to see you.
What up, what up? Feeling good, man. It's good to see you, too. And, yeah, here we are at a hump day. So life is good, man. Life is pretty good. How you feeling over there today?
Outstanding.
Yeah?
I wanted that thing to go 7, but it didn't. And, let's do the little back patting for a second. Had the Panthers in 6 before the series. That's plus 450. And I did not get talked into Edmonton. I went strong with the lay the goal and a half. I expected empty biscuits. We got them last night.
Yep.
And I do think that this crushing of Connor McDavid in Edmonton is off base. I do. The people, why should there be that much shame losing to that team? It's because they did it last year. Getting over the hump's difficult. Getting over the hump against a incredible team, dynasty-type team. That team's great before getting Seth Jones and Brad Marchand. They're great before that. And so we know what Jonesy is. 6'4", skatey defenseman, very good.
Yeah.
If you watch hockey, you know about Brad Marchand. That is a competitive you-know-what. That he is as competitive as they come, and he knows how to win, and he has experience. Let me tell you this. When Brad Marchand is a third liner, you know you got a team.
You got a squad.
And that's a momentum. The game last night, and I did talk to a couple people inside hockey, because I was all prepared to come here and say that the back-breaking third goal was not on Skinner. I was all ready to say that. It was a floater. It hit him in a bad spot, high stick side. Wasn't ready for it. Maybe could fault him for that. A little too casual. That's a floating shot off a weird, cycle out. And I was like, no way. Can't put that on him. What does he do? It hits him in the upper right shoulder, Matty. Blocker side. If he lets it go, he doesn't know if it's going to go in. Now, could he come across and glove it? Maybe. And then, so I was all ready to take him off the hook, that the back-breaking goal was technically not on him. And then I watched it many times and talked to some people, and I was steered off that opinion pretty quickly. He has to control that rebound. He has to block that to the side. He can't let that thing just saucer into the slot and just not control that rebound. So I'm not a goalie coach, and I'm not going to go crazy about it, but that's one that breaks your back. You talked about it yesterday about when do you pull him, and 2-0 you don't. You're in that game. 3-0, it's technically over. You're not climbing that mountain again. And it wasn't a rip shot. It wasn't just a bullet. It was just there was no screen. He just got caught. He got caught not expecting it, and that should be on him. Down 3, you're done. But I'm here to say that the people that are crushing Edmonton for losing to them in 6, they're either putting crazy pressure on a superstar in McDavid, or they're not really giving justice to what Florida is.
Yeah, and they're a team that's about that action ball, says Marshawn Lynch used to say, because we've been watching this for a while now with this hockey club, and here they are back-to-back. If people want to throw out Dynasty, I don't have an issue with it. And they are just a top-to-bottom complete team that has a phenomenal goaltender and goalie Bob and talent everywhere else, where they just stress you out and make life difficult at every single inch of the ice out there. They've become now just the 8th team in the history of the league to score 90 goals in a single postseason. So they're aggressive on offense, and they have an absolute brick wall there in goalie Bob, who was tremendous last night. I think he stopped every shot but one in the game. And so the last 2 years, Florida is known, on any given night, we're going to have the best goaltender in the league. I think that's the confidence that he's infused into that franchise. He had some struggles within this series, but when they needed him to really rise up, and be a dude, Bob was a dude last night. And so you look at the last 2 years for him, I mean, his goals against average is 2.3 and 2.4. And so that is just a great floor to have as a hockey team. You brought up something that I think is huge, and you touched on the names Seth Jones and Marchand there. And like you said, we know what they're about. But credit to their GM, Bill Zito, I believe is his name, for sitting back. You're coming out of Four Nations, one of your star players dealing with an injury. You really don't know what you're going to get from him back half of the year. He said, yeah, we got a good team, but I'm going to still be aggressive and go in and push my chips in the middle of the table, and it paid off again in the form of another Stanley Cup. So I just wanted to shout out their GM and Bill Zito for, I think, making some tremendous moves for two veterans that know what it takes to win at a high level. And you're looking at a guy like Marchand, who finished the Cup playoffs as just the 7th player to score 5+ goals in multiple Stanley Cup finals. So experience, you got an experienced player that came in with that, but also did some damage too. So, yeah, their team is just an absolute force, and credit to them for going back-to-back.
We know Zito really well, and so he's a household name in Columbus. And it is weird to see X-Jackets hoisted again, but the team that they're on is elite. They're physically elite. They've got talent. Barkov is about as big and powerful as anybody. Reinhart just got announced top 6 dude on Team Canada.
What was he on last night?
And this isn't just your Canadian come aboard. Top 6 Team Canada. That's
for real.
That's as real as it gets.
Yeah, that's legit.
Verhaeghe skates and checks. Barkov is 6'3", 220. And defends down low as well as anybody.
Yep.
That's why I'm not here. I'm here to kind of bounce back against the people saying that Edmonton's a choke or they don't have the goaltending. They don't. Now, Draisaitl getting no shots on goal for a guy that has about 200 goals in the last however many 4 years or whatever he's got.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that can't happen. But that's a credit also maybe to Florida.
No doubt.
And so down 3 and not giving away anything last night, except that, whatever that last one was when they maybe let their guard down and there was a weird deflection and got through Bob. But yeah, I mean, would he have loved to blank him?
Of course.
In the clincher? Of course he would have. It doesn't matter. And they were the best team, and they were the best defensive team. They had talent, and they had the mismatch where it counts, in the net.
In net, baby.
And as much as I was like, okay, go back to Skinner, go ahead, live and die with your starter, it really didn't matter. At the end of the day, it didn't matter. Pickard was better as a reliever, and Skinner had to come up with something and steal a game, and he couldn't. And there you go. It wasn't the game you wanted to see, because I wanted that to at least get really tight late third, and it was over by then. And then what we really wanted was the greatest thing in sports is a Game 7 in hockey, because a Game 7 in hockey just feels different to me than even a Game 7 in hoops. I just feel like there's really no lock unless you take a lead. And I said yesterday, if Florida gets a lead, it's a very big cliche, but it means so much because everybody stays in it. The crowd's in it. It starts to slant. The ice starts to tilt a little bit for you. The mountain becomes bigger to climb for Edmonton just because they've done it before in that game with the pressure on. So that's why it was so important for them to not give up that second goal late in that period. And the third one, which is on Skinner, just kind of, I'm sure the team kind of looked around like, you almost put that on a tee for them. But it was the way it was going to go. And so here we are with Florida hoisting another cup.
One thing Florida did really well, there's a whole list of things that they did because they're just awesome, right? At this point, and we know what it is. You got to bend the knee to the Florida Panthers, but they just really, I think, did a good job of out of the gate being all over Edmonton. I mean, within this series, they cooked up 13 first period goals. So you're coming into the game with some hot starts.
That's right.
And applying that pressure. And so your opponent in Edmonton knows not only are we behind, well, we have to try to crawl out of this hole against one of the best goaltenders in the sport. And so they got after Bob in spots, but I thought that was a pretty big deal in this series, too, is how
many first-period goals?
Yes, they had 13 of them, 13 first-period goals in this series. I think was a major factor in how they were able to get this thing done again.
Yeah, so while it was fun to watch that, and the Seth Jones thing is pretty amazing because it's weird that because they were chanting like thank you to the Blackhawks and all that. And you remember, I don't know if you remember this name, but Spencer Knight, who they traded, the backup goalie, was a former first-round pick several years ago, had 1 year left on his contract. And Jonesy had 5 years left. Annual cap hit was not bad. And so they really didn't mind the salary, probably retained a little, but it's one of those moves where they just, whatever they needed to shore up, they got. But I keep coming back to Marchand. Knew how to win.
Yeah.
Competitive, you know what. A guy that he just cannot be stopped.
You know what it reminded me of on the basketball side of things last year is when we watched the Boston Celtics add Drew Holiday. You remember they had Tatum, they had Brown in-house, and then you bring in a couple guys like a Derek White and Drew Holiday, and you're looking at the Celtics in a completely different light. That's what it reminded me of what Florida did, adding Seth Jones and Marchand. Already, without those guys, they were going to be a problem. But you bring in some enforcers like that with some skill as well, and that just takes you to higher heights. And it's similar to me with what we saw from the Florida Panthers and the Boston Celtics, two teams that have won titles in the last couple of years.
When you can bring in a workhorse on both sides of the puck the way he plays and be a veteran and be a leader and that guy, there you go. And they got it again. And it's not like this was absolutely easy to predict, but we were always on the right side. We're always on the better team. Edmonton has a puncher's chance in any game because of the talent they have. Yeah. But the great equalizer is certainly in the net, and Bob did it again. All right, we're coming back, and we got a new Cleveland Brown, and the media tries to create a certain narrative, and he shut her down fairly fast. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hey folks, it's Austin Ward here, and I remember the first time I understood that old saying about giving a man a fish. It made so much sense, and I see examples of it all the time. Take the new weight loss meds, for instance. Think about this. You take a shot, you eat less, and you lose weight. But the second you stop, the weight comes back. You never actually changed anything besides eating less of the same bad things. I wasn't interested in renting my results. I wanted to own them. That's why I chose Awaken 180. I needed a lifestyle change, I knew it, and I was excited about it. A medication-free path to long-term weight loss. That's exactly what I got. It's been a year and a half since I dropped my 50 pounds, and I've kept it all off. Awaken 180 taught me how to adjust my approach to food. A real-time education on how to keep it off while losing the weight. I say, learn how to fish. It's easy, it's fast, and for the long-term bonus, no medications. Do what I did and choose the solution for weight loss. Awaken180weightloss.com, 844-346-1800.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
Go beyond your field of study and get a world-class education in leadership. As an Army officer, you'll work side by side with peers who support your growth, and you'll become a role model, mentor, and decision maker in any environment, at any scale. It's a challenging path, but along the way, you'll sharpen your skills and show yourself and those around you exactly what you're capable of. Decide to lead at goarmy.com/officer.
The Ohio State University ROTC has scholarships available. Learn more at arotc.osu.edu. Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Common Man here. I want to talk to you about my buddy Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. It's rare that a business comes along and offers you such great quality, service, price. If you or someone you love or like, or even strangers on the street tell you they need a jeweler, tell them you got a guy, and that guy is Bob Capace at Worthington Jewelers.
I'm Bob Capace, and I'm your guy.
Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com, where Columbus gets engaged.
Austin and Berm are back with a new daily podcast, the ultimate OSU football insiders. You know, it's refreshing to have some smart people working here from time to time.
The Beat with Austin and Berm on the 10 TV Plus app.
Subscribe today.
Summer is in full swing. If you think you're hot, well, so are your trees. You can help your trees by watering them, especially if they're newly planted. During the hot, dry summer months, your trees could use a water boost. Watering new trees a few times a week will help them survive while they're developing their root system, so don't forget about them. To find out more about watering trees or to find a certified arborist near you, go to treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
A summer-like day for us. Afternoon highs will get into the upper 80s and a slight chance of thunderstorms throughout the day. The better chance will be as we go into tonight around sunset into the overnight hours, some which could be on the stronger side. Overnight lows right around 70. And then for Thursday, we are cooler by about 10 degrees, with still a lingering chance of showers and storms. Otherwise, it will be partly sunny. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
What's up, knuckleheads? You're listening to Rothman and Ice on The Fan. It's not terrible.
Not so far. Schefter, bottom of the hour, 12:30. Get some info on the Bungles and see what's happening with the contract situations.
One of my friends that's a Bengals fan is just so over everything right now.
So it's interesting, and, you know, I do see a side of this, and I've been on... So here's what happens in sports radio. You know, you take one side, I take another, we draw the line, the listener's the arbitrator. That's like the old school way to do it, right? And a lot of it was contrived back in the day that's how they would do it. One guy would be forced to take the other side. It makes it more interesting. Then it makes it a debate or whatever. And so, but I really, when I look at the Trey Hendrickson thing, I keep coming back to when you're dealing with that many millions, would you always err on the side of the player?
If you're a fan.
Like this isn't, they can't, unless, see, I don't know how many millions they are apart. I'll ask Schefter, because how much does he really deserve to get paid? It's kind of like that psychological thing. Like someone asked me one day, like, if you could get on Augusta, what would you pay? What would you pay? And then whatever number you come up with, well, wouldn't you add another 500 or 1,000 to that? Are you going to stop there? Like, where's the psychological stopping point? There is none, is my point. If I told you, honest to God, if I could play Augusta one time before I died, and I said I'd pay $10,000 to do it, would you say to me, well, why wouldn't you pay 15? 10 sounds like a lot.
Well, I don't know what you have in your bank account. I don't know if that's, well, I know you got a lot more than that.
Not true.
So 10 grand is nothing for you.
The point is, when does it get to the point? My point is, if you're willing to pay 10,
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you be willing to pay 15?
I think the Bengals.
Where's the psychological stopping point?
The Bengals would take us down this analytical road of, the numbers, this, and this is the money we're going to need next year and the years after that. And some of it would make sense to me. Most of it wouldn't because, I don't think cap space is a real thing. Heck, even Joe Burrow said on record, he doesn't even know how the cap works. But it's just got to be frustrating for Bengal fans to be dealing with a situation like this, even though you can look at the perspectives from both parties in this and say, I can understand where you're at because the age of Trey Hendrickson is probably the holdup for the team and their side of things and how long they want to go out in years with committing to Trey. And on Trey's side of things, he's trying to keep this thing as black and white as he possibly can and saying, I'm one of the best pass rushers in the league according to my numbers the last few seasons. And you look at where the market is right now. So pay me where the market is because of the numbers that I've put up. So, yeah.
So the one thing we don't know, and maybe Schefter has an idea, is what is this dude asking for? Because if he's asking for Myles Garrett money or Max Crosby money, then I'm not on his side. I'm not. I don't care how many sacks he has. He's not those guys. He's just not.
I think he's a better player than Max Crosby's been the last couple of years.
From a talent standpoint, is he as good as him?
I'm not going to try to go down a hypothetical world. I'm going off of what I've seen, and he's been more productive than Max Crosby the last couple of years. So I got to give it to Trey. I don't want to try to poke holes in what he's done.
I'm not trying to poke holes in
I don't think that's fair to Trey.
I'm not trying to poke holes in his I think there are two different arguments here. One is production and one is talent. I think sometimes guys that are really talented may not get the numbers, but they absorb double teams. They absorb different parts of the defense.
Trey's had to do with all that stuff.
I'm sure he has. Yeah. And this is not an anti-Trey thing. What I'm saying is if he's asking for $38 million, then I'm saying no.
I would be surprised if he is. I really would be surprised.
What if he's asking for more money than Nick Bosa?
Nick's number is 34. See, I don't have an issue with that number if it's a short-term deal. Okay. And that's where Trey's I think that's the thorn in the side of both parties here is that. I wouldn't have an issue paying Trey $35 million for 2 years. And that's why I said I can understand the hesitation from the Bengals side of things when you're at that number for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. I'm with you. I think there's a lot of that. And I think that this is the stuff we don't know. But the psychological part is unless you're $5-6 million apart, which is serious money, but when you're talking about these, that's why the fans, we can't relate. Like, because if you told me, oh, wait, $32 million gets this done and they're offering 28, it's a lot of money to anybody listening. But to an NFL franchise who has a very productive guy who's still very talented and healthy, it doesn't seem like that much to get it done. I'm with you. This may be more more years than it is the salary. It might be.
And for Trey, I think another part of this is him looking around at the market and seeing guys like Danielle Hunter and Myles Garrett at a similar age as he is and saying, well, their teams took care of them. Houston, Cleveland, Myles is 30, Danielle Hunter's 31. Those guys are at the top of the market at $35 million and $40 million respectively. And so he's saying, AJ nothing but a number. That's what he's saying to the Bengals. Pay me. Come on. And who else do you have? Honestly. Like, that's the other part where I think he has a lot of leverage. This isn't like they got a whole bunch of young pass rushers foaming at the mouth ready for their chance to get after quarterbacks. It's a lot of unknown in that room. And one of those guys just left minicamp in Shamar Stewart. They can't even get that figured out.
Anybody willing to pay $50 for a cat would certainly pay $75. What are you, a thief? Close, an attorney. I would say, by the way, Doyle, thank you for the planes, trains, automobiles tweet. I appreciate that. It jarred the quote to my memory. That's why I think that the psychology of what you'd be willing to pay if you get to a certain amount of money, then it becomes principle. Then it becomes, this is our last best offer. You get fatigued by it. And I'm like, name a bucket list thing that you would do that you would spend serious money on. And then have someone say, well, what about an extra $1,000? Would you do it for an extra $1,000?
Depends if I got it. I still got to buy groceries and eat and fill up my gas
Let's say
tank,
you do have it.
all
but
that.
when do you stop is my point. If you can afford it. I'm talking about whether you can afford it.
Who knows? The
That's
number
what
I think would hit different for everybody.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It comes down to principle at that point. You just have to stop. And I think that's where the Bengals are, Matty.
But my thing is, you don't need to stop. You have the cap space. They have it. That's the other frustrating part, I think, in this as well, is like it's not like they're pinching pennies. They have room to get a deal done with this guy at a pretty strong number. And he's a key piece to what you will be and need to be defensively, because if he's not in the mix, to me, they're not going to be a Super Bowl contender. They're just not. And so he has to be a part of this, along with the defense growing now under Al Golden's watch and so many other guys that need to step up. But if you don't have Trey Hendrickson, then what are we doing?
Well, they had him last year, and he got those numbers, and they still didn't sniff the playoffs. And so that's how they're probably looking at it as. Not that they don't want him.
And Trey's probably saying, if you take me out of this thing, we won't even be close.
So that's my argument from months ago, that you weakening a weakness, which seems very stupid to me. It does. You went all in on the best defense is a great offense. I think they'll get this done because I don't think Trey Hendrickson is going to lose $1 million a year, whatever he's going to lose.
So are you saying they get a new deal done, or he just shows up and plays out the deal he's currently on?
I think they get something done. I think he goes all the way to the Burrow, to the edge of the cliff. Like Burrow, I think
right up
Burrow
to week
knew
one.
he was going to get paid.
Yeah, they exactly. You're the quarterback,
This guy plays that game going all the way up to the opener. Then he probably does hold out into September because they are maybe a contending team. Yeah. And then the only way he can hurt them badly is by holding out. And if you were his agent, you'd have to say, that's guess, that's leverage, that's show him you're willing to sacrifice the money to get the right deal, justice served. And the only way you can do that, and what are they out of the gate? We talked
Browns
about
week
this.
1, I believe, right?
Okay, so Browns week 1, they probably can win that game without him. I'm not saying they will, but they probably could. Jacksonville at home might be able to outscore them. Should be able to. At Minnesota, we don't know. Could be dicey. At Denver, could be dicey. Home against Detroit. At Green Bay. Those are all dicey games all through week 6. If this team is 3-3 through 6 weeks, they might say, Trey, put the suit on. We need you.
The other thing, too, in this is, because I can't remember whether or not when Hassan Reddick did come back with the Jets at one point last year, did the Jets still make him pay back the money, or did they wipe the slate clean? I don't remember if that happened or not, because I remember we were
talking about the fines?
Yeah, the fines. We were asking Schefter week in and week out about that. He was talking about now we're at $1 million, now we're at $1.5 million or whatever. I don't remember whether or not they said, Hassan, come on back.
We'll probably waived him.
I don't think the Bengals would do that.
Waive the fines?
I don't think they would. I would not trust that franchise to do that.
I don't think it matters if you waive the fines as long as you build in the fine money into the contract.
Per source with knowledge of the revised Hassan Reddick contract, if Reddick agrees to honor his deal for the rest of the season, the Jets will waive more than $12 million in fines.
That's right.
So they ate the money. The Bengals, I don't think, would do that for Trey Hendrickson.
Or you build the fine money into the contract.
How does that look?
Whatever he's fined, you add it into the contract. It's just you're washing dollars.
So you're saying that money would go to Trey?
Maddie,
is what you're saying.
Know, it'd be like me saying, it'd be like you saying, let's say your health insurance here costs you, I don't know, name a number, $8-10 grand a year, whatever it's going to cost you. And you say to them, hey, take care of my own insurance. I got my own doctors. I'm a healthy guy or whatever. I want to roll the dice or whatever I want to do. I'll tell you what, pay me $8 grand more. Fine. You buy your own insurance.
I don't think the Bengals would do right by a player when it comes to money.
His agent could easily say,
maybe that would be a possibility.
I sat out or I got fined or this and that. We're doing a deal. Part of me coming back to the table is you make me whole. You make up the money I lost. Yeah. And I think that maybe that would be something the Bengals could hold as a card to play.
What he really needs is Joey B to come out and dig in the way he did.
No.
For Higgins and Chase, because that got that done. The leader of the team calling out the franchise. It's what he needs.
What, for Higgins?
For Hendrickson, he needs Joey B to come on out and dig in.
No, I know that, but is he really going to go to the end of the world for a defensive guy versus his?
If Joey B's serious about winning, he will, which I think he is.
So where is he?
Well, I think in time. I think the longer this drags on, I wouldn't be surprised if he plays that card again.
2 minutes, we'll come back with Schefter. We'll ask about Trey and the Bengals. How close are they? That's next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Jane has 150,000 miles on her truck, and she's proud of that. Jane's secret? AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help her find the right parts. Jane's brother Josh only cares that his car starts and goes, but when it doesn't, he also goes to AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help with free services. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist, because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line, $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement, $999.99 and qualifying ported. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid card. Allow 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
NFL Playbook with ESPN's Adam Schefter.
Sponsored by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
All right, it's that time. We get to speak with the senior NFL insider for ESPN. The one and only Adam Schefter is on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Schefter, good afternoon. How you feeling?
Hello there, Anthony. How are we doing?
Pretty well, my man. Let me ask you this. What's the likelihood, and this is going to be very hard to predict because we have no idea what is going to happen to other teams or how guys are going to look in camp, but there was a story that kind of popped up here in Cleveland about the Browns and maybe possibly keeping all the quarterbacks, 4 or 5 if you count Deshaun, obviously, but the 4, Flacco, Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur. What do you think the likelihood of those guys making it to the 53-man roster, all of them?
I would say unlikely. I know they could opt to do that. Quarterbacks in this league are currency, and they're valuable. But I think as we assess it on Wednesday, June 18th, 5 or so weeks out from training camp, it's hard to imagine that they would cut either rookie because they've invested valuable draft capital in each one of them. So you got a 4 and a 5. Okay, I'm going to operate under the assumption that unless one of them falls flat on their face, that both of them are going to make it. And then I think the veteran that wins that job winds up starting the season, whether that's Flacco or Pickett. And I think the other guy almost becomes trade bait for a team that has an injury. Now, they could keep 4, but I think when you're looking at it, just to put that into perspective, Anthony, the debate that most teams have is whether they're going to keep 2 or 3. And some keep 2 because they want those extra roster spots for an extra receiver, or an extra offensive lineman, or an extra defensive back, or whatever it is that they want. So whereas every team carries 2 or 3, and I would say off the top of my head it's probably split. Some do 2, some do 3. I don't know anybody doing 4. So that's not to say they can't do it. Of course they can. But now you're short at another position. Now you're short on special teams. But if the guys all prove their worth and value, and that's where the strength is, then you carry 4. It's just not a common practice in the National Football League.
You know, Schefter, I know leading up to the draft, we talked a lot about the Browns and their possibilities and where they could go with their high-end first-round pick. And then, you know, we get to night 1 and they do a deal with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And now Travis Hunter is a Jag. Schefter, what are you hearing about their plans for Travis Hunter, the split on offense and defense? What's been the word coming out of OTAs and minicamp down there when it comes to Travis Hunter?
Well, he's looked great, which is what you would expect. I mean, you don't really know yet, but look, most personnel people across the league thought of him as a generational type player. You know, the ability to play offense, defense, and they onboarded him as a wide receiver, playing him some at defensive back. Probably will play both. We'll see how effective he is or isn't in his rookie year, but he's a supreme talent. And here's a guy that has an endless battery. He's out there forever, plays more than anybody, plays at a higher level than most people. You know, you would expect that he's going to be a great player in the National Football League.
Where are you right now on the Bengals and Trey Hendrickson getting something done? It feels like that they'll eventually probably need each other, that this will come to some sort of a compromise, but that would only be a guess on my part. What's your educated guess?
Well, look, I know there were some reports they're talking again. Yeah, they're talking. I don't know that they're any closer today than they've been all along. They don't agree right now on value. They don't agree on the length of the deal. Other than that, no issues. So, I mean, it's been going on for 2 off seasons, and they haven't been able to bridge their differences. And so, again, what is the value? I think the biggest thing that they've got to agree on is the length of the deal. They can't agree on that right now. And, you know, we'll see if the Bengals want a shorter deal. Trey would like a little bit of a longer deal. He's not even asking for very much. But that's where it's at. And, yes, they've been talking, but they've been talking all along, really. There have been stretches where they didn't talk, of course. And there's regular communication now, as there should be. And it's in both sides' best interest to get the deal done. And it's okay that it's not on June 18th. It's not ideal, but it's not crippling. Now, if we get to July 18th and it's not done, that's a little bit more of an issue. If we get to August 18th and it's not done, that's even more of an issue. But, you know, it's interesting conversation. I understand why people are asking about it, talking about it, but it doesn't have to be done today. But you certainly would like these two sides to be in a better spot than they currently are.
Yes, and I'm with you. And listen, they let Burrow go all the way up to near the opener before they got that done. We kind of knew that was going to happen. But so let me take you back then to something maybe you hinted at there, maybe you didn't. I don't know. There are 4 defensive ends that average more than $30 million a season. And the others are like, so Donnell Hunter is 1 year, 35. Nick Bosa's got a ton of money. And you've got some others. There is some thought that the Bengals are offering him less than 30, that it's like 28 mil, and then you kind of said, is it length, or there could be some guarantee involved. Is there anything you're willing to kind of say about where you think Trey wants to be? Have you heard anything? And where the Bengals feel they have to be?
I really don't have the answer to that, and I'm being honest when I say that. I think the bigger issue right now is the length of the contract, and they can't agree on that. And before you can go and get a deal done, you got to figure out where it's going to be at. And so, depending on the years, that would dictate the average. And of course, the guaranteed money is a big deal. So again, there's a lot to it. I'll just say this. We saw Danielle Hunter and Max Crosby and Myles Garrett all get paid, and one guy top another, to the point where Myles Garrett became the highest paid defensive player in the league, and Trey Hendrickson's had more sacks than him the last couple of years. Last year he led the league in sacks, Hendrickson did. Look, the numbers on these guys, they're not going down. Micah Parsons is going to do a deal this summer at some point that makes him the highest paid defensive player in the game. I expect it to eclipse the deal that the Browns gave Myles Garrett. Now, I'm not going to tell you that that's going to dramatically alter the deal on Trey Hendrickson, because it's not. But, again, his production right now has been unparalleled, his importance in that locker room and on that roster is significant. And it's up to both sides to figure out a way to get it done.
You know, some of those things you said right there at the back end, I think you could apply to Terry McLaurin and how important he is to Washington, that team, and you know, him as a leader, being a captain and all those things. Schefter, this seems to me like this should be easy to get done with where he is in his career. Jane Daniels on a rookie deal. Like, your thoughts on Terry McLaurin and the Commanders not being able to figure out a contract as of right now?
Well, it's not altogether different than the Trey Hendrickson situation because you got two guys who are so valued, so productive, so talented, so important to their teams. Both guys. And also, they both play positions where the market around them has kind of exploded. We saw Jamar Chase and T. Higgins get paid huge money this offseason. We saw DK Metcalf get paid big money this season. So Terry Metcalf rightfully is saying, I deserve, certainly close to, if not what these guys got. So it's up to Washington to figure that out. I think this should be his third contract, if I'm not mistaken. And the guy's been, somebody that you want on your roster, a leader. So we'll see if they can figure out. Again, I'm thinking time they're going to get it done. They'll get it worked out, but they're not there right now, and they don't appear to be close right now.
Let's go over to the AFC South and talk about a couple quarterbacks and some health updates on one is C.J. Stroud and the latest on Anthony Richardson.
In regards to Stroud, at least he came back and threw during OTA, so that was encouraging, although, you never like to see your starting quarterback have any type of shoulder injury in the offseason. So that's a little your antenna's up, but it doesn't seem to be a big deal, and the Texans don't sound like they're overly concerned at this point in time. Anthony Richardson, I think, is a little bit of a different category. It's a shoulder injury that he had his rookie year. Didn't know that it was going to be an issue this spring, but it was. And again, there have been a lot of theories floating around out there. I've gone back with some of these theories to people who would know, and they've denied. I've heard that the shoulder is a little worse than people thought. I was told, no, it's not. I was told that maybe the screws came loose. I was told, no, that's not true. I was told that there's more discomfort than people. No, I was told that's not true. I was told he couldn't miss an extended period of time. No, he's going to be back to the start of camp. The point is that it's been all over the map here. And the indications are, the belief within the organization is that he should be ready for training camp. But I'll just say it's a starting quarterback. It's an injury he's had before on the same shoulder. And they can say he'll be back for the start of training camp, or he should be. But I would say let's just see and watch that one.
There's nothing else you can do, right? It's not like you can't float him out there for a trade. No one's going to take him unknowing if he's healthy. So
no.
Even where the Colts are from an ownership standpoint now that, new CEO and all that, I saw people like floating out, move him along, send him to a team that's, well, how are you going to move him if you don't know?
By the way, could even pass a physical right now.
Yeah. All right, man. I think that's right on the mark. We appreciate your time as always and your insight. Be well. We'll talk to you again next week.
Thank you, guys. Have a great week. We'll talk next Wednesday.
You got it. Adam Schefter, senior NFL insider, ESPN on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fangus Hotline. When we come back, everybody's got a price. So why did this kid turn it down? We'll tell you next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We're known for three things: games, conversation, and Common Man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
With over 33 years in business, Newman Roofing believes white glove services shouldn't be a thing of the past. From the first call, you'll be greeted with friendly professionals to answer all your questions. Special financing options available now, so call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit newmanroofing.com.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
He shoots, he scores! No matter your sport, it's a great time of year to be a fan. But the fun stops when you or a loved one can't control your gambling. At Maryhaven, we're here to help. Whether it's gambling, drugs, alcohol, or mental health, you don't have to go it alone. With in-person, virtual, and group options, Maryhaven meets you where you are. Always judgment-free. Go to maryhaven.com today. That's maryhaven.com.
Get summer blockbuster savings at Coughlin Kia, Central Ohio's largest volume Kia dealer. Right now, take up to $6,000 off MSRP on any new Kia in stock. Plus, get free maintenance for a full year when you buy. Get any new Kia with up to $6,000 off MSRP. Visit CoughlinKia.com.
Largest Kia dealer based on current ground stock at all 4 Coughlin Kia locations. 2025 Kia Sorento XY. MSRP $47,990. $3,000 Coughlin discount. $3,000 factory rebate. Residency restrictions may apply. See dealer for details. N7725.
Talking about guns might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Asking safety questions before a play date, like do you have pets, a pool, are there any unlocked guns in the home, can help keep kids safe. Learn more at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by Ohio Health and the Ad Council.
This just in from the Lindsay Honda Newsroom. It's our big anniversary sale. 0% for up to 60 months has been extended on all new Hondas. Try the new 2025 CRV LX all-wheel drive with 0% financing.
Lower your rate, lower your payment.
Save thousands on hundreds of new Hondas when you buy now.
With so many Hondas, why would you go anywhere else?
Shop the big, the beautiful Lindsay Honda now. Visit lindsayhonda.com for details.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
The Buckeyes are national champions. And you listen to it all right here on The Fan. And next year when they do it again, it'll be here on The Fan. And the year after that, well, you know the drill. Always and forever, your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters' experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Maddie ranked the most dynamic duo of all time, Caesar Salad and Moscow Mule. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, guys. Father's Day's come and gone, but doesn't mean you can't help Dad out, help yourself out, get that extra boost of health and energy you need, he needs. Live your best life. Low T Center is offering free weight loss consultations right now and free T tests. Special offer, celebrating guys, dads. The treatment would be personalized to you and them. Most major insurance is accepted. Just go over there and bundle it up. With the freedom to choose in-center care or at-home treatment, you have that flexibility with Low T Center, and you're helping yourself or you're helping your dad, or maybe it's a discussion you both need to have. Back in control of your health. From now until the 21st, a few more days to really take advantage. You can enjoy a free B12 shot when you stop in for TRT and weight loss. The offer's limited. Book now at fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com. All right. The money's staggering. I'm almost desensitized to it now. Lenoris Sellers, who's the quarterback for South Carolina, is thought to be a future big-time talent. And his father did an interview, the Faja did an interview with the Athletics' Bruce Feldman.
Yeah, Norris Sellers is the pops.
Norris.
Lenoris is the son.
Lenoris.
Yeah, is the quarterback.
His dad is Norris.
His pops is Norris. Yep.
He said kids being offered all sorts of crazy numbers and all this stuff.
I got the quote for you, AR, if you want me to read this. Here it is.
And then I'll give you the number.
Okay, cool. We didn't come here to make money. We came here to get an education, play ball, and with schools calling, we're not going to just jump ship because they are offering more than what we're getting. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. He went on to say, you're 19. You don't need a whole bunch of millions of dollars. You're in a great spot. There were several talks, but it never really crossed his mind to leave. It's a challenge with colleges offering younger guys that kind of money. Who's going to say no to multi-million dollars over 2 years? They're going to be swayed if you don't have the right people in your corner.
Interesting, because the first half of that quote, before you paused there, the first half I heard a lot of we. There was a lot of we talk, and then it turned into they and you and he. So he kind of changed his tone halfway through. I was like, does he think he's on the team?
Well, do you have the exact number?
Yeah, listen, I think that the way he's speaking is more of like the fans, we, and he's the father of a player. So I think he feels a part of the we.
What's his agent fee?
Yeah. So he was offered apparently a 2-year, $8 million NIL offer from another school. So am I to take that as that's a $4 million a year
Sounds
situation?
Right to me, big dog. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
he's supposed to be that darn good.
Let him do a nice record, 2,500 passing yards, 18 touchdowns. Going to build on those numbers probably this year, and he's a good player.
Yeah.
He's but please don't sell me on that he basically turned down millions because he just wants to go to school and play football. Like they're
I mean, I'm not going to push back on that,
But he's making it sound like that he turned down all this money because money's not important to him.
It may not be. You
don't think he's got a massive NIL deal
I'm
at South
sure he's
Carolina?
got good money, but the way that he's making it seem is the money that whatever university was offering him, that 8 years across 2 years was more than what he's getting at South Carolina. That's how I read the situation, and I respect the heck out of it because this is the opposite of what we saw with Nico, his dad, and the whole Tennessee situation, is that it sounded like down there, Nico's dad and some other people in his camp really pushing for the level up or the significant level up financially from Josh Heupel and the administration down there in Knoxville. And here is the case where his pops is saying, no, this isn't what we truly care about. It's not the end all be all. Of course, it's great to get the money that I'm sure he's getting, but this is what you want, I think, if you're a college football fan, is to have these type of, not just any player, but what's going to be a star player really respecting the grind and saying, yes, I'm getting mine, but I'm not going to leave these guys behind, my coaches, my teammates, these fans, just because I'm getting millions of dollars offered elsewhere. So I really respect this, what they've come out and said, and him sticking with South Carolina.
Would you change your mind if I told you that On3 reported on Christmas Eve, Lenoris Sellers has signed a new deal with the Gamecocks?
Yeah, I can respect it on the surface. Not knowing what he gave up, there's no way for me to know how big of a deal this is. Because if he turned down $4 million from another school and he's getting paid $3.6 from South Carolina, then okay, he left $400,000 on the table, which is a lot of money. But yes, I totally agree with you that not knowing, I'm not going to crush this, but I can't go all in on this is the most noble thing I've ever heard in sports because he turned down this deal that we don't know about from some fictional school.
I wasn't trying to say that, I guess. I was just comparing it to what we saw from Nico, and that there could 100%. Be guys out there that are wired that way to solely just care about the money and remove themselves from a good football situation the way Nico did to one that looks very questionable.
That's right. And all these guys are entitled now because they're entitled to use the leverage to their capability.
Especially at that position.
And don't think it's not happening here. I'm sure there are guys the families of people that said, hey, we don't want to leave, but, look what we have to turn down. I mean, how can you make us turn this down? Don't make us turn this down. We don't need that, but we can't dwarf it. I think that's what's happening here is that if he turned down And his dad was probably more than proud to announce that number because it makes, first of all, from the credibility standpoint, it's like my kid's a talent. He just got offered $8 million, $4 million a year. And while we didn't take it because we have loyalty to South Carolina and we like what he's doing here and we came here for a reason, it doesn't mean that they're just saying we're not interested, nor should they. And I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that he should be the one guy that says a scholarship's enough. I'll be the one guy that says it. No, he doesn't have to do that.
Maybe it was from a team in a state with a higher state income tax.
It could have been. But I'm with you, Maddie. On the surface, how refreshing is this? We'll never know. We'll never know unless his dad, unless the follow-up to the interview with his dad from The Athletic was, well, would you be willing to tell us about how much you left out there?
Mm-hmm. I don't think he would answer that.
And then we would really know
He's not going to answer that.
What the kid turned down to stay loyal. And also, let's also say this. The situation may have been a lot worse football-wise.
No doubt.
Whatever he was offered. So the choice would have been more money, worse situation.
Right.
Think about that if you're listening now from a job standpoint. It's very, very difficult to always take less money. It is. It's probably the hardest thing because it goes to your worth. Wait a minute, they're going to pay me that? Okay, I'll put up with this. I'll put up with that because I'm getting what I think I'm worth money-wise. Where if the better job and the better situation and the better future is for less, not a lot of people put a price tag on that. And it sounds like maybe he did. All right, we'll come back top of the hour and get into the bust alert. Who's on the list, Maddie? And there are a few quarterbacks. We'll see who should own the top ranking. That's next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
The radio couldn't contain us, so we've taken over YouTube. Catch Morning Juice weekday mornings at 6 by searching 971 The Fan. Do it.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-426-VEIN. That's 614-426-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Matty Ice here from McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. Are you looking for an affordable family car? Then the Chevy Traverse is for you. This month at McDaniel GM Superstore, you can get up to $3,000 off MSRP on a 2025 Traverse. Plus, qualified buyers can finance at 6.8% for 72 months. They are just a short drive north of Route 23 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. McDaniel GM Superstore, where great deals meet a century of trust. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
A healthy body needs good food. This summer, the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce is sponsoring Sun Meals, a summer food program where kids eat free. Children under 18 receive healthy meals and no sign-up is required. Locations may be right in your neighborhood. Call 1-866-348-6479 or visit education.ohio.gov/kidseat for meal locations and times. That's education.ohio.gov/kidseat.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
It's been a great run. Care Heating and Cooling has achieved goals I could only imagine 30 years ago. But now it's time for the next generation to take over. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, as Care grew over the years, you had many opportunities to sell Care to one of the big conglomerates that are buying companies all over Central Ohio. So tell our customers why you decided to keep Care in the family.
After talking about Care's values for over 30 years, I couldn't bear the thought of Care becoming the kind of company I was warning our customers about. I know the two of you will continue to treat our customers as I would, with honesty and integrity.
We will, Dad. In 2024, Care was awarded a BBB Torch Award for Ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman. From sold-out stadiums under Friday night lights to more than 100,000 screaming fans on the banks of the Olentangy. America's football capital is right here in Ohio. But the greatest football players and coaches of all time live up the road in Canton at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And a trip there should be on every football fan's list. Go to 971thefan.com/goldjacket and enter to win a VIP experience to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Ignite the passion. Relive the glory.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Feeling like you've lost a step? You're not alone. After 35, most men start losing free testosterone, the hormone that helps you stay lean, strong, and energized. But now there's a game-changing solution. Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster from the #1 brand in America. Nugenix Total T2 is packed with even more men-boosting power, and it works fast. With a powerful nitric oxide booster, it sends your energy and performance levels skyrocketing in just 3 hours. That's right, just 3 hours to start feeling like your old self again. For a limited time, you can try it for yourself absolutely free. Text now to get a complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the #1 selling testosterone brand at GNC. But that's not all. When you send us a text, we'll also include a free bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator ever. Feel stronger, leaner, more driven. Text ROCK to 369-369 now. That's ROCK to 369-369. Text ROCK to 369-369.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. Carmen's crew is officially back to defend their title at the basketball tournament. The squad will be led by former Buckeyes William Buford, Caleb Wesson, Keyshawn Woods, and Trevor Thompson. They'll compete in the Indianapolis Regional at Hinkle Fieldhouse July 19th to the 22nd. The Reds looking to stretch their winning streak to 4 games when they host the Minnesota Twins at 7:10. Nick Lodolo gets the ball for Cincy opposite Bailey Ober. Coverage on ESPN Columbus gets underway at 6:40. The Cleveland Guardians out on the West Coast taking on the San Francisco Giants at 9:45. Logan Allen versus Justin Verlander, the pitching matchup. Over at Huntington Park, the Columbus Clippers continuing their series with the Indianapolis Indians at 7:05. This one's sponsored by the Waterworks, your trusted neighborhood plumbing, draining, heating, and cooling experts. Visit them online today at thewaterworks.com.
Maddie's favorite show is Big Brother. Don't read into it. He's only watching strangers through hidden cameras. You're listening to Rothman and Creepy Stalker Guy.
Here we go, second hour of the program. Ins and outs coming your way. Bobby Carpenter, 1:30.
Big Brother right around the corner, AR. You know what? Less than a month. July 10th, season 27 of Big Brother will kick off. And ladies and gentlemen, you know the rule. When you see Big Brother starting, football season is right around the corner.
But I thought you said that football season essentially is, like, I think a month ago you said that it's here.
Well, I think we had,
So how many corners are we going around?
We had the 100-day countdown not too long ago. But, you know, this is my thing, is that when you see Julie Chen Moonves hosting Big Brother, which she has for years and years, and that's a great gig, by the way. You
Julie
get in.
Chen Moonves?
I think Moonves. Did I say that right?
I don't know.
Pretty sure that I got that right.
Isn't her husband one of the execs or whatever?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. Isn't he like the big? I don't know.
Yeah, Julie Chen Moonves. I think I got that.
Dude,
right.
you know who's got it really good is Jeff Probst on Survivor.
So I'm saying that's exactly where I was going to go.
Just yelling at people, watching them struggle, and then going back to your cushy hotel on the beach.
Both hosts for CBS, they've been there for a couple decades, and they've held it down for one show and probably made millions of dollars doing it.
Maddie, her husband was the chairman and CEO of CBS.
There you go. Okay, there you go.
Or Phil so-and-so with The Amazing Race. He gets to just...
You like that show. You brought that up. That's your show.
I want to be on that show. Now, the problem is, I want to do one of these game shows so badly, these like reality game shows.
The challenge on MTV, you built for that?
I don't know. What does all that entail?
It's a little bit of everything. Mental test, physical test. You got to eat some wacky stuff. That's where I would take the L there, is eating cow eyes and do all that weird stuff that they're doing.
I could get through that.
TJ Lavin, though, he's hosted that show for a decade plus. It's awesome. But yeah, Big Brother, I'm telling you, watch how fast the summer will go once Big Brother starts.
Well, it would be mid-July.
That's what I'm saying.
So, yeah, I mean,
I might start watching this show.
You've got summer
just
already
for the sake so we
over
can talk
for
about
me,
it on the
though.
radio.
That's the bad part. You don't wait till Big Brother anymore. You throw this on me a month ago.
Oh, my goodness, because it's my favorite time of the year. It is crazy, though. How
Wishing the summer away?
It's not even that, because we get some really good weather once football season starts, right? You get that late summer, early spring vibes going on. Like, I'm totally here for it. But, yeah, game 1 is August 30th. Buckle up, because we'll have, Big Ten media stuff in Vegas, I believe, in a few weeks in July. And then training camps will start, and then we're rocking and rolling, big dog. It's the best time of the year.
Wishing the summer away is your favorite time of year.
No,
I don't think it's even football.
What I'm trying to do is wish the humidity away.
That's
what
not happening.
That's what I'm trying to do. Get that away as quickly as possible.
Ice, you ready for some pregame shows that start at 6 a.m.?
Listen, man.
I love that. Don't kid yourself. He loves that.
People say
he's done. He's in and out of there by 8 o'clock. No traffic, nothing.
Okay, but you're there from 8 to 10. I would rather have the 8 to 10 shift than the 6 to 8 shift for a noon
See,
game.
what you're missing is what AR said.
Back in bed before I'm even in the first commercial.
Listen, I'm back at the crib. You know how many times I get in a nap before a noon kickoff game? It's really, really the way to go. I've never minded getting up early, though. Like, I'm one of those people.
But you don't seem like a napper.
Oh, I'm a heavy napper.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Especially on the weekends. Heavy napper. Not so much during the week.
You can watch him nap.
Yeah. But, yeah, I'm getting it in. Hour and a half, 2-hour naps. That's how you do it.
Huh. Okay, yeah. So you get done. Mm-hmm. So is it the same thing? Is it you, Dane DeVere, this year?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you guys are from 6 to 8.
As far as he knows.
You're warming up the microphones. Yeah, exactly. You're warming up the microphones for AR. Mm-hmm. And then he's going to come in there, Tim and the gang.
We're not on the same site.
Yeah, we're at 2 different locations.
Oh, really?
I'm at the Ozone.
Well, as far as the listeners know, you're warming up the mics for them. But 8 o'clock, you're done. What time are you opening your front door?
I think so. Technically, I believe my show's done at 8:30.
Oh,
I believe. Either way, I'm asleep by 9:15. I'm back in bed by 9:15. Sleep by 9:45.
Okay, that's pretty good. I gotta be honest.
He parks next to the microphone.
I'm gone.
You do know this, right?
No.
I'm walking from the aquatic center. He's literally, you want to talk about a flex, why you would love this
gig?
We'll
talk about that in or out, by the way.
Why you would love this gig?
Mm-hmm.
He literally gets there, while people are setting up, essentially. Like, the tailgates aren't going.
What's the traffic like at that time, too?
There is no traffic.
None.
There's no traffic.
Oh, man. All right. You know what? You may have convinced me that it may be worth Matty Ice getting up earlier for his day to be wrapped up.
I'm telling you,
he pulls up next to the set.
When
they could hand him the microphone through the window.
When the alarm goes
do the
off,
show like a drive-through.
The alarm goes off at 4:45. That's tough. But once I'm up, it's just time to roll. Because then I'm like, I'll be back in bed in a handful of hours. And I got a whole Saturday in front of me and a whole Sunday in front of me. So
those are the easiest shows to prep for because you're just talking
football.
All
Buckeyes, what I've been talking about all week anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, just play some tape stuff.
Listen, AR came out there.
He plays your interviews.
AR came out there.
Technically, one segment is done.
Technically, it's our interviews.
Yeah.
Yes.
Technically, it's our interviews that we do on Fridays right here on Rothman and Ice. But AR came out there with, what game was that? It was freezing. Was it it was the Michigan game.
It was the Tennessee game.
The Tennessee game. It was freezing.
Yeah, I was in the airline container.
Come sit in the car. I can do that when it's cold outside. When it's freezing,
I did
fire up the car.
I was sitting until it was time to step out.
But I'm saying
that's what everybody does in broadcasting. I can't tell you the amount of times that when I was covering the Big Ten men's basketball tournament in Chicago, and all the live trucks would be next to the Jordan statue when it was I don't know whether they have 2 of them now or what they got going, whether they moved it into kind of an atrium, but it was outside.
Yeah.
And you would literally sit in the live truck until 30 seconds before you were hit, and you would jump out, do your 4 or 5 minutes, and then jump back in. Yeah. Not like the radio. We're toughing it. We're toughing it out there.
Uh-huh.
But it's a trade-off. I'm not telling you this is some glamour detail waking up at 4:45, but the fact you get to roll in, essentially see nobody, do the show,
and roll out,
jump back in the ride, and be home before most people are even thinking about driving to campus, that's a win.
Yeah, it's a win, no doubt. And, somebody's got to do it.
That's right. And you're the man that's willing to do it.
I've been doing it for a while now. It's crazy how many years I've been doing
that
show. Shout out to all the guys that hosted the show with me. Schlegs, Mike Bennett, Dane, DeVere, Tyvis. I don't know what that says about me.
What is this, an awards? They're thanking everybody?
I like to show love to the folks, man.
Well, just do it. Give the whole list.
It's one of my things, AR.
Like to thank everyone. There are a few people. I can't thank everyone, but you know who you are.
We don't, I think, as humans, give flowers early enough in life. Flowers. I really don't think we do that because a lot of times.
When will that phrase be retired?
I am so done with that.
What is the over-under on giving
Well,
the
it's
flowers?
not going to be retired because I love saying it. So you guys are going to have to get used to hearing it.
So not on this show, it's indefinite.
Yes,
but
because
in general public, will it ever be? It's got to move on. Something's got to replace it eventually.
We don't show enough love, I think, to each other.
That's right.
While we're all here. It's one of my biggest pet peeves is that we have to play this card of not showing love enough because, I don't know, it's the tough thing to do or whatever. But it's like, we don't do that enough. That's why I love showering you with your Emmy love and reminding people how much of a
I don't know if it's coming off that way.
Wow.
I don't know if it's coming off that way.
I can't wait to hear that again.
I think it's more of a.
I'm going to mark that in the audio.
All right, go ahead. This is my man's talking
I don't know
here.
what I was saying. Whatever. You guys got the point. Hug some people, show some people some love
That's
while they're,
right.
while they're
Hug
here.
a cop. I said it. What movie? Anybody? All right. All right. Well, now that the Love Fest is in full flow here, now we can go back to judging and criticizing because there's a bust list out there.
Oh my goodness!
And there are a few quarterbacks on it. I wonder if you'll be able to predict which quarterbacks are on it.
I think I can nail the quarterbacks.
I think you probably will.
I don't think I could get maybe some of the other. I don't even know what the list consists of. Can you give me like number of quarterbacks, number of running backs, or linemen of the 9? How is this broken down?
I'd say 3 quarterbacks, a running back, a receiver, and then I won't pin you down to offensive linemen.
I think for me,
literally probably defensive linemen.
Okay.
I would just do the receiver, the running back, and the 3 quarterbacks.
One of the slam dunk quarterbacks on this list has to be Anthony Richardson.
He's on the list. You just made the list, buddy. Lighten up, Francis.
Shout out to Chris Jericho. 2 different, That's
right. 2 different references, 2 different generations. It's outstanding. 2 years in, this guy's played 15 games.
Right.
Like, come on. Like, he's talented unless he's injured. If he's injured, then will he go down as a bust? He probably will.
No doubt. Another quarterback. So you said there's 3 quarterbacks.
This one, you're going to get one of these. You may not get the other.
Another quarterback.
Bryce.
Because I don't think you're going to go to.
Ooh, that's a pretty good
maybe
call,
this
TLC.
guy.
You said Bryce Young?
Yeah. Same draft.
Yeah, of course.
He's the other
He
one
was
on there.
picked over C.J. Stroud. Absolutely, he's on the list.
And then the last quarterback. Man.
But he may not bust, though.
He may not. Okay.
No, I mean...
what are the parameters age-wise?
As far as the next guy, the last guy?
Yeah.
How old is he? I'll look up his age. I don't know if that'll give it away or not. He's only 25. That'll probably give it away.
That would be then... Trying to think of the last few drafts. 25.
This is someone who's already gotten paid because I'm open.
It's Trevor Lawrence.
I was about to say I'm open-minded to Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I think all 3 of those are fair.
$275 million.
I think all 3 are fair.
Yeah.
Bryce Young turned
I don't think it's fair with him with how many coaches he's played for, but
that's been messy. There's no doubt. Bryce Young turned a bit of a corner in the back end of last year, but if he flops again this season early on, there's no doubt he'll be labeled as a bust, and they will regret that decision until the end of Carolina Panthers history. It looks like taking Bryce Young over C.J. Stroud.
I don't think at the end of the day we will be saying Trevor Lawrence was a bust. I don't feel that because a lot of this will be on Jacksonville to get it right with him.
I don't know, AR. I think it's in play. I think it really is in play. If he kind of stays at this level for the rest of his career.
But you're not holding the organization to any.
We don't do that for all the other quarterbacks. I'm not doing it for him.
Okay.
You got to hold it down. If he stays at this level, and he's been good, but he was crowned as, one of these quote, speaking of terms I'm tired of hearing, generational.
Yeah.
I'm over that.
Oh, yeah, because there are like 18 generational talents.
I'll tell you what,
every
Maddie,
single
what
year.
we're going to do today is give flowers to the generational talents.
Oh.
Would that be fair for all
Yeah,
of
I
us
see
to
what you
do?
did.
Ins and outs are next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey folks, it's Austin Ward here. The new weight loss meds are having results, but what happens after you stop taking them? I didn't want to rent my results. I wanted to own them to keep the weight off. I chose the medication-free solution for weight loss, Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Hey, it's Anthony for my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Summer savings, Rich is backing it up. He has rates as low as 0% and leases starting from $249 a month. How about a 25 Honda HR-V LX CVT two-wheel drive? Lease it for only $259 a month. 36 months, 30,000 miles with only $30.39 down. And all trades deserve a sweetener. He's giving you an extra $1,000 for yours. See them for all the details. Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
When sudden illness or injury strike, Ohio State offers 3 types of urgent care to meet any of your needs. From traditional urgent care to our specialized orthopedic urgent care for activity-related injuries and advanced urgent care for more serious injury and illness, Ohio State's experts treat everything from broken bones to ear infections and colds and flu. When your illness or injury can't wait, the choice is clear.
Wake up and cash. It's Top Picks on Morning Juice. Powered by WeWinUwin.com. Professional sports bettor Chad Patrick. Dropping plays and juicing up your Friday mornings with fresh pick winners. WeWinUwin.com. Built by winners for winners. Stop guessing and start cashing.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Spring weather has arrived, and we all know what that brings. Warmer weather and severe storms. Well, when bad weather hits, we all know it can cause leaky roofs or even damage to your siding and gutters. The Roofing Guys are your local experts in roofing, siding, and gutters and more, providing top quality through every roof, every time. So it's just a small repair, full replacement, or even peace of mind. You need to contact my guys, the Roofing Guys, 614-626-7000, or visit them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
Nashville's hottest band, Old Dominion, is coming to Great American Ballpark on July 10th as part of the Ohio Lottery post-game concert series. After the Reds take on the Marlins, all fans in attendance are invited to stay and enjoy a set from Old Dominion. Plus, you can upgrade your ticket to a pit field pass for an up-close view of the show. For tickets and more information, visit reds.com/concerts.
Tita Green with Skip Mosick.
Saturday, we'll talk course design with Doctors Michael and Chris Herdzin, plus Ron Syrak on this week's Women's PGA Championship in Texas.
Tita Green with Skip Mosick, Saturday mornings at 9 on The Fan.
Hi, I'm Josie. My daughter turns 5 today. Blow out the candles. I'm also an Ohio State Highway Patrol trooper. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can get home to celebrate with my daughter.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. Let's all give them room to work. When you see flashing lights, remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Are you in need of basic dental treatment but can't afford the cost? There may be a solution. Hi, I'm Dr. Hal Jeter, president of the Ohio Dental Association, and I'm excited to tell you about a program called Dental Options. Dental Options is a partnership between the Ohio Dental Association and the Ohio Department of Health in which qualifying patients can be paired with a dentist to receive discounted or even free dental care. Eligibility for the program is based on your financial situation. For more information or to apply, call 1-888-765-6789.
Fan And weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
A summer-like day for us. Afternoon highs will get into the upper 80s and a slight chance of thunderstorms throughout the day. The better chance will be as we go into tonight around sunset into the overnight hours, some which could be on the stronger side. Overnight lows right around 70. And then for Thursday, we are cooler by about 10 degrees, with still a lingering chance of showers and storms. Otherwise, it will be partly sunny. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present In or Out.
Just a little of the old in and out.
All right, TLC. What you got cooking tonight?
First of all, just to piggyback off of that last topic, and I don't even know if this is like any sort of in or out, but it's just a question in general. Was Trevor Lawrence's prospect so great that any sort of failure that he experiences is kind of just excused away as organizational failure? And it's easy to do so because it definitely was at first with Urban Meyer. That was a calamity of errors.
Yeah, that was a mess.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up. I'm not taking him off the hook completely. You're
Doug
saying
Peterson's a good coach, though. I had a lot of respect for him. Hey, I hear what you're saying, though, because it's not, I mean, the playmakers around him. Like Evan Ingram went down there, he was a good player. Brian Thomas Jr. has been there for 1 year. Etienne's been okay, he's been fine as a back. But perception just changes when you get $55 million a year. And I think not only the money, but what TLC brought up is that when you're touted as the next great thing, especially at that position, fair or not fair, the bar is set relatively high. I think he has the tools to figure it out and be a consistent quarterback. We just haven't seen it right now.
Throwing a lot of picks.
Yeah.
I haven't watched every one of them. Not going to go back and watch every one of them, but he's got to cut those down. And with Liam Cohn now and play calling, that should help. Like he's borderline bust if he doesn't do something that is.
What is that? Win a playoff game?
Yeah, I was trying to think how far do I have him. Yes, the guy wins a playoff game. I'm not going to call him a bust.
He's won one.
Got to keep moving that way.
I think. Yeah, because it was the
4 picks in the first half.
I think Brandon Staley blew a 24-0 lead at halftime.
Yeah, former Chargers head coach.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Used to always go for it on 4th and 2.
Trevor Lawrence
on
was
his own 3.
Exactly. He was a 1-1, right?
Yeah.
In that draft. So, yeah, when you're a 1-1 in the draft, that comes with different expectations. And, like AR, you mentioned, though, he's only 25 years old. He's got plenty of time left in this league if he can stay healthy. It's just you need more of the team accomplishments to start being baked in with individual stuff for him sooner rather than later.
Yeah, he's one of those guys, though, that we have to look at and judge on success. I'm not taking him off the hook, but he's been involved in such a rotation of stuff at the pro level that it has to be pretty difficult for him to catch any real traction. And he's probably one of those guys that felt like he had to do a lot of it on his own. I think he still has a high ceiling. I think he's going to be a good player. I think he can be a good player for a very long time. Whether he's going to be a great player or we judge him in the top 10 of quarterbacks, that's yet to be seen. So I don't view him as a potential bust, but it very easily could happen if they don't have any success. But I just feel like he's got it in him. He's still a dangerous quarterback in my mind. He can be. But yes, to bring up those picks that he threw and they got bailed out in that game and by the Chargers is pretty mind-blowing.
And the last angle of this is, does getting one of those massive contract extensions almost put you in an immune situation where you're no longer considered a bust because you got paid? And the reason that I'm asking that question is because Kyler Murray also got an extension. And I've never been all that impressed with him. Yeah. And he's kind of been in no man's land in between, because he's definitely not a success, but it seems like people don't also consider him a bust. So he's kind of somewhere floating in the middle.
I think the bust thing comes later in your career for these guys, right? Because we've got examples now to where some guys that have been around for a league, the Baker Mayfields, the Geno Smiths, the Sam Darnolds, you let it marinate sometimes. You need to get to your mid to late 20s in certain situations to get an opportunity and really figure it out. I think that has to come right at the back end of a guy's career because we just don't have the full story yet. For Kyler, Trevor Lawrence, I think that buzzword will start to creep up over the next couple years if their teams aren't, winning a playoff game or two or whatever that looks like in your mind. But right now, man, with these guys just being 25, I don't know how old Kyler is off the top of my head. I can't imagine he's that much older than Trevor Lawrence.
You got drafted in 19, so 2 more years.
So 27, 28 years old. Like, these guys still have a few years, I think, to figure it out for me until I go all in with calling them a bust.
It's difficult because the definition of the bust is really, really hard to draw that line, whether it's based on money you're getting paid and you didn't live up to it. Does that make you a bust?
Like Johnny Manziel's a bust. He's a bust, right? Like those type of guys are no doubt bust in the history of the league. Jamarcus Russell, you're a bust. And so I think Trevor Lawrence and Kyler
did nothing.
Right, they did nothing. Those guys we're talking Trevor Lawrence is at a higher level, has already had more success and more consistency than those guys. So that's why I can't get there yet with him.
Yeah, listen, and the money's getting so absurd that if you want to draw the line at $50 million, you're making north of $50 million a season. Like, the name that comes to mind right now is Tua. And so, but Tua has led the league in passing.
Yeah.
Now, he's got great weapons. And maybe if he doesn't have any great success moving forward, the fault will be through injury, that he just couldn't achieve it through no fault of his own. But I think he's borderline bust. Deshaun Watson's a 3-time Pro Bowler. He could be looked at with this contract with the Browns as being a bust on that contract. But he's not a bust from a career standpoint. He led the league in passing. So it really just depends on how you want to look at it. If you say, hey, this guy's making $50 million a year, he should be a Super Bowl contending quarterback year after year, which is what Josh Allen is and what your guy is, being MVPs. Goff now has certainly had enough success where, he's just kind of they go into the overpaid category, not the bust category.
And I got one more for you. We've been talking about this for a long time, about we need some sort of flex sound effects. We need just something. When Rothman jumps in and says,
"Wow, why did it go? Why am I the first example?"
Okay,
it's
fine.
probably fresh in our mind with your hockey references.
That was
over
not
on the top of the show. You did say, "I was texting somebody in the NHL last night."
You texted people,
I guess.
Or what was his? That he knew somebody that knew somebody. What was that like? 2 weeks?
He said I knew a former player.
Yeah.
And what was that story, Taylor? So you were telling us that you were cool with somebody that used to either do a hit on your old station or something like that. It was a former player to where you did flex on.
Thought you were the greatest or something.
We were talking about Clayton Kershaw and giving up the home run to Matt Adams, and I said I knew Matt Adams because all right.
But that's different than you, AR, getting intel of from former whoever.
I'm just trying to give you some.
So I'm trying to workshop a few sound effects.
You got a few over there?
Just something quick. I think I know which one is going to win, so I'll have that one go last.
Okay.
And so we'll go from worst to best. We can do a quick, little doorbell thing, like when Ice goes, "Oh, yeah, my day's over at 8 a.m. Just like a little quick one. Not that great. It's kind of a throwaway. We can do a gong. And I think this one's going to play well in the Matty Ice category when someone throws out a flex.
Oh, is that the Undertaker right there?
We might be speaking your language.
The Undertaker right there?
We could do this one, too.
We don't do that enough. That's why I love showering you.
Oh, what was that?
You didn't even finish what I said.
What was that?
It was what I said in our previous segment.
But that's what we're going to be doing?
Showering you with Emmy love.
That's what he said in the previous segment. Did you hear that?
We don't do that enough. That's why I love showering you.
Wow. At least he didn't say showering with me.
Oh, man.
Carpenter's up next in 2 minutes. We'll ask him. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Introducing the new Dell AI PC powered by the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps do your busy work for you, so you can fast forward through editing images, designing presentations, generating code, debugging code, summarizing meeting notes, finding files, managing your schedule, and responding to Jim's long emails. Leaving all the time in the world for the things you actually want to do. No offense, Jim. Get a new Dell AI PC at Dell.com/AI-PC. How those ahead stay ahead.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey, look, it's Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. Say hi, Bob.
Hi, Bob.
You know what I love the most about your store?
What's that, common man?
The way you treat people. You get to know your customers. That's why they keep coming back. No sleazeballs around. Just good, clean boys and girls selling jewelry.
Stop in and see the difference for yourself.
Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington. WorthingtonJewelers.com. It's where Columbus gets engaged. Tell them Common Man sent you.
I'm an old school Joe. I never lay juice I don't want to lay. I don't hate my money like that. I'd rather lay minus 108 than minus 110, wouldn't you? Prime Sports is Ohio's full-time reduced juice sports book. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Now you can watch Rothman and Ice.
Go to YouTube and search 97.1 The Fan.
Rothman is wearing the pancake makeup, so you might as well watch. Back to Rothman and Ice.
Every man has his price. Robert J's is free for us. He's a bargain at any price. Good to have you, my man. How's your day going?
It's going well, sir. Yeah, can't complain. Sun is shining. Things are looking good, and feeling pretty good about life. So excited to maybe dive into that Strauss documentary tonight and see what that's all about. All the kids are talking about it.
Yes, everyone is talking about it.
Have Strauss on in my house.
The years of that are pretty painful, and for a lot of people. And so I've seen the trailer. Is it already happened, or is this tonight the debut?
I think it dropped last night, from what I've been told. So there's some twists and turns and different things in there. I mean, you may know a lot about it, Rothman. I know that was back in your heyday.
It was back in for about 4 or 5 years, but for you, it was probably right at the beginning.
Yeah, they were kind of wrapping it up at that point, with this.
But he was the team doctor. Was he not the team doctor when you got here?
I did not. I had never have met Dr. Strauss.
Okay. Well, your first year was what?
Or been examined by him. 2012 or 2002.
Yes, okay.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. My bad. You're right. That was late 90s when that was at the very end. All right. Yeah. You got to get yourself in a certain mindset to watch that, I'm sure.
Yeah. Have a couple of drinks and a cigarette and sit on down.
There are a couple
have a normal Wednesday
night. Right. Exactly. So there were a couple games in my covering Ohio State in the lifetime that I was talking to Maddie during the break and I said, well, a couple games I would have liked to have seen. So one was maybe the Joe Burrow revenge game against Ohio State, right? That would have been something that would have been interesting to see.
Who's getting the revenge? Joe against Ohio State or Ohio State against Joe?
Feels like Joe against Ohio State. Not that there was any, real evil or mean-spirited stuff, but, he had to leave to go play, and maybe he thought he was good enough to win that job, and it was very close and all that, and he got injured. So, no, you're right. Revenge is probably the wrong deal, but I'm sure there would have been a little extra intensity playing against Ohio State if that would have happened.
I think there would have been, and there's just the familiarity, and it's when was the last time, Rothman, that you would have played a quarterback from the state of Ohio in a national championship game as Ohio State? I think that's the added element. Not only is that he played at Ohio State, but he's from Athens.
That's right. And remember what he said. Ohio State was his school. He played football at LSU. That's how he put it. Like, he spent 3.5 years here. Like, there was a different type of feel, and his time at Ohio State was competing with a couple big-time quarterbacks. The other game that never was, and this is before your time too, this one, what would be before your time, would be in 1995, and I told Cole about that. I gave him a little history lesson. The Northwestern Wildcats in 1995.
Oh, yeah, Gary Barnett.
Beat Notre Dame in South Bend, Michigan, I believe, in Ann Arbor, and Penn State, all in the same season. You know who they didn't play?
The Buckeyes.
Ohio State. And I'll have to ask, Finkus or Ty Howard or somebody that...
Flinkus.
Yes, I'll have to ask him about... we had it's an inside joke, Matty. We had
Matty knows the old PD.
An old PD.
They referred to him as like some sort of combination of Vrabel, Fickle, and Finkus.
I think Finkel is Einhorn, I think is what he wanted to say. And I'm wondering what would have happened in that game, because then Northwestern was pretty damn good that year in 95.
Yeah.
They had a letdown against Miami, and which probably we should have seen coming, because they had a bye week after they beat Notre Dame in South Bend. And so then they come back and lose to Miami of Ohio, and it's like, what? Right. But they want to beat Michigan, Penn State, Notre Dame all in the same year. And you had to be where I'm from in Chicago. You had to live through the 80s and the Northwestern teams that you and I could have beaten, right?
What's amazing? Let me pull this up just for getting in the history, the Wayback Machine, Rothman.
But that's the game we didn't get. Was if they had to play Ohio State in the regular season that year as well, and they didn't.
You know what? It's wild that had happened. That they lost to Miami, Ohio in that season, because I want to say one of the other games that people probably you tell me you're not going all the way back there, ESPN. The Iowa Hawkeyes, if you
which
remember,
year are you talking about?
2002, where they were I was never an outright Big Ten champ, even when we went undefeated, because in 2002 Iowa. We went undefeated as well, and we didn't play them that year. They were cycled off of us.
Kirk had a good team that year.
They were very good, and they lost to Iowa State earlier that year. They beat Miami, Ohio, but they beat them 29-24.
They barely got by. Yeah.
They played them in Oxford at Miami Yeager Stadium in Oxford, and they barely beat them. I thought they lost to them that year. They lost to Iowa State, but it was a similar situation. That was they had one loss, a non-conference game, and so you had the co-champs at the end of the year.
Bobby, let me throw this at you. Talking about this year's version of the old Scarlet and Gray under Coach Day's watch, the position group outside of the quarterbacks that you believe has the most pressure on them this season is which group?
Ooh, which group has the most? I mean, I think you'd be inclined to say the defensive line, just because you lost 4 guys who were all drafted in the NFL, that were all really good, that were all seniors, some of them 50 years, that had been around, that made big plays. Like you think of some of the biggest plays that were made over the last 2 years, like JT's game against Iowa or Penn State. You think of Jack's plays that he made, Tyleek and some big sacks and stuff in the middle, the goal line stands. Same thing with Ty Hamilton. Like they were just so good and so stout inside that I would probably have to lean there. I mean, receivers, you've got a lot coming back, including the best dude in the country. I think in the secondary, you've got Caleb back there, and you feel pretty good about some of the other pieces. Davidson's returning. You got half of your guys at linebacker and guys that have played a lot. I would think that it would be the defensive line, just due to the fact that you've got really talented guys and guys that have made some plays, guys that were highly recruited, but they don't have that breadth of experience. And they've been on the field, but they've been the guys that have been playing, 25 to 30%. Now they're going to have to be that 70 to 75% guy.
Is it real to expect? I mean, I know it's different. They'll have a different quarterback and all that, and maybe certainly a different identity. And you guys just identified maybe some areas where they're going to have to grow and become great together. But the national championship, trying to prevent some sort of a weird hangover from that. Now, I know that they should get in the tournament. They have enough talent. They got in as a not a big seed here, and they won it all. But they got that big game right out of the gate. And it's going to be an epic night, right? It'll be all sorts of national championship type fever for that game. But how tough will that be for them to recreate what they just did?
Well, back to back. Let's talk about the teams that have done it. Georgia did it. Bama's done it. I mean, you look, Rothman, over the course of the last 40 years, there's been, maybe 3 or 4 teams that have done it? I mean, maybe one a decade. And a lot of those teams have a lot returning. Now, offensively, they do. And they have some of their guys on defense, but you lose your quarterback, you lose a pair of running backs. You lost a first-round receiver. You lost a first-round tackle. Now, the good news is you lost your first-round tackle during the year, and so you had some replacement, but you also had a first-round guard that you lost that also you've got to replace. But you felt better because he kicked out, so you've kind of solved some of those problems during the season. But you're going to have to figure that quarterback position out.
Here's why I ask you real fast. It's because now that you have the expanded playoff, because you identified the right thing. This doesn't happen often. Georgia, Bama, last 15 years, whatever, and then you go back to Nebraska way back. Yeah. But now that you don't have to be in the BCA, you don't have to be the final two. You lose a game, you're not out. And presumably they're going to have a ton of talent. Is it easier, maybe the wrong word? Is it easier, maybe the right word? I don't know. But getting a shot at it now of going back-to-back is going to be easier, even though you have to beat more teams. You'll have an easier chance to get your shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you. I'm with you. It's going to be tough. You'll have to find a way. So here's the thing. You're going to get in. 10-2 will get you in. We'll get you a home game because that's what everybody wants. And so that's the thing. You got to get, I think, getting a home game. And the thing is, this isn't the puppy that lost his way. Like, you're not going to have a little bit of time, Hansel and Gretel, to find those breadcrumbs like you start with Texas. But if you lose a close one to Texas, I don't think anybody's going to kill you. It's just, can you find a way then to get some big wins throughout the rest of the year? And then, like they did last year, can you peak at the right time?
Prime Bobby Carpenter with prime Anthony Schlegel and A.J. Hawk. They get one night with the Stanley Cup. How's that Stanley Cup looking when you have to return it the next morning?
Oh, it's gonna look like a beat up pack of cigarettes in the back of Rothman's pocket back in 1993. I mean, it's gonna be through all of it: wash, rinse, repeat. Sitting, I mean, just everywhere. That thing will be beautiful. I would be excited. Now that's prime. Now it would be like me taking with my kids to go to a park or something. I don't know.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. What beverages be? I know what Schlegel's pouring in there.
I think, Rothman, you said clutching on that Lubin Roses is what you told me.
Let me ask you this, because Schlegs will get this. I think I'm getting like just a truckload of Little Kings. And I'm just gonna
fill it up.
And I'm just going to pour
He loves Little Kings.
I know he does, because I told him how much I loved it back then. Because it's an ale. Because it's an ale.
Yeah, he loves the Little Kings. You guys can fill that bat. I'll tell you what, it's deceptively deep. It's like a bowl. It's not really a cup.
Let me tell you the slogan for Little Kings. You may not know this. He probably will remember this. It's just enough to need another.
Oh, gosh.
It may be the greatest slogan in the history of advertising.
Nothing. You told me you met a chick with a tattoo on her hip like that.
Just enough to need another. All right. Well done, my man. Enjoyed it as always. We'll talk soon. Hey, prepare yourself for the show tonight.
Absolutely.
Okay,
have a good one.
See ya. Bobby Carpenter with us on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Buckeye Bolton coming next. And speaking of legacies, could these guys be better than their big brothers? We'll talk about it next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with a thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Summer is finally here. That means long days, warm nights, barbecues, sporting events, and that vacation you've been planning for months. The last thing you want to deal with is a leaking roof or unexpected damage to your home. At Newman Roofing, we understand that life gets busy and your time is important. And that's why we designed our entire process around you. Whether it's your roof, siding, or gutters, we believe in doing things the right way, not the rushed way. No high-pressure sales, no pushy pitches, just honest conversations from professionals who respect your time and your home. When you call Newman Roofing, here's what you can expect. First, we'll take time to diagnose the issue, not just slap on a quick fix. Then we'll present clear, quality solutions and answer your questions so you can make the best decision for your family and your budget. And right now, we're offering special financing options so you can protect your home without putting your summer plans on hold. So go ahead, fire up the grill, pack your bags, or hit the ball field. Let Newman Roofing take care of the rest. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
There's a huge focus in America today about your health, and you're determined to look beyond the pills. You don't want to have surgery, because I know I didn't. So you want to talk to the person that's in pain right now? Well, that was me. Maybe it's you, maybe it's someone you love, and maybe you've done everything you can. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter for my friends at QC Kinetics. They're different. They're not about those quick fixes. This isn't going to be some shot that's going to make you feel better. It's not a surgery that's going to put you on the shelf. They're about long-term relief. This is regenerative medicine we're talking about right here. Your own body's healing properties to heal the damaged tissue at the cellular level. QC Kinetics, they've helped tens of thousands of people, so many of them right here in the Columbus area and across the country. They'd be honored to help you just like they helped me with my knee, just like they helped my dad. Here's what they're going to do. They're not going to mask the pain. They're going to go to the source of it. So go check them out at qckinetics.com/Columbus to see if you're a good candidate, or give them a call at 380-228-4544. They've got offices in Dublin and in Gahanna and newly in Canal Winchester and Grove City.
Hi, here are some ways to listen to The Fan. You can download the Fan app, or listen at home on your smart speaker, or open up the iHeartRadio app, or hold your head out the window and hear Common Man scream. Happy listening from the Dopes at The Fan.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Oh, these polymers aren't as flexible as batch K3.
Researcher Laurie is stretched thin.
Did you get the vulcanization analytics from V66? Wait, are these rubber scores from last week?
She needs to hire new lab technicians so she can bounce back into her old self.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our matching platform lets you spend less time searching and more time connecting with candidates. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another air conditioner breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day air installation.
All right, Buckeye Bulletin time. If you listen to the show, one of my favorite quotes to quote, is that your little brother? Good-looking kid. That's Jefferson and little brother. Ohio State has just offered class of 2027 athlete Angelo Smith. He's the younger brother of Ohio State star wide receiver Jeremiah Smith. This doesn't seem like anything that they would just throw it out there to make Big Brother happy. This is a kid who apparently has very much earned this, and we'll find out. Now, his bio says he's a safety.
Okay.
I don't know exactly.
Sure, those were some good backyard battles between the bros over the last few years.
He doesn't look like he's following in his brother's footsteps as far as a receiver. I don't know that for a fact, but
think about the work they can get done at the family reunion. You got Jeremiah outside, you got Angelo guarding them in the backyard, and you got Geno Smith coming in to spin the rock. I mean, you could really get work done.
Yeah, those turkey bowls.
The grind don't stop at the Smith Thanksgiving Turkey Bowl. Yeah.
Grab the gloves, do it in the sand.
Yeah, so or he's got a couple offers right now, it looks like. Toledo's one of them. Miami down there in Florida is one of them. And so class of 2027 guy, clearly Ohio State sees something there to where they think they can develop him and get him hopefully into Columbus and continue the Smith tradition, because we know what his brother is going to leave behind as far as a legacy goes if he stays healthy, and that's going to be one of the best legacies of all time at this program. That's how good he is. So for Angelo wanting to follow in those footsteps is a cool story. And, Coach Day and the gang over there have probably identified maybe another gem coming out of Florida.
The younger brother of Marvin Harrison Jr., Jet Harrison, has also been offered by the Buckeyes. That was last month. He is a wide receiver.
Okay.
And that would be 2028. So.
Yeah, Jet for a wide receiver just works. That absolutely works. You got to be really fast, though, right? Like, you have to be. You got to be a Deshaun Jackson type. You got to be a Xavier Worthy type, I would believe. I would hope that's the case. But, again, you want to double down on another bloodline, that would be a tremendous bet to make. If you're Coach Hartline and Coach Day, just keep it in the family. This is like the Usos and Roman Reigns, just the bloodline story. It just never ends, but it's a good story. Acknowledge your tribal chief when you get a chance, AR.
And then
TLC put up the one.
What do I have to do? Is that just a one?
Throw up the one.
A one.
That's all you got to do.
Even though I don't know the guy or even know what he's about, just
you know the cousin. You know Dwayne The Rock Johnson. You know his cousin.
By the way, Ballers is back on.
Wait a minute. There's a new season?
No, like the old ones. I got caught up in watching those yesterday afternoon. Denzel's kid.
Yeah. Yeah, he is in that. Were they as good as I remember, or am I overhyping?
They're dated.
Okay.
At the time, they were as good as anything because it was like the inside sitcom of what
the sports life.
That's right. Trying to make it as real as possible.
Yeah.
I just jumped into one yesterday where. Yes, trying to make it. So The Rock.
You smell what he's cooking?
He's going through a horrible hip pain, and he's trying to mask it with just pills. And his doctor or doctors are telling him you need a hip replacement. He doesn't want that. And there's a scene where he circumvents this and goes to some, I don't know where, inner city clinic and gets this doctor who's kind of on the take with the team to just give him a script and pay on the way out kind of deal.
I'm floating pretty good. The pills are fine.
Exactly. That's where I learned it from. Anyway.
You sounded rough till you were playing her. Play that again.
I'm floating pretty good. The pills are fine.
Got some bass in that voice.
It was good.
He really did.
I got caught up in it.
I enjoyed watching
I think The Rock's an underrated actor. I do. I think he's
had some flops, no doubt.
Physically imposing, and I think that's certainly what he's about. But I think he's actually a fairly good comedic actor. I think he's very good. I do think he's an underrated actor. I don't know even that's a hot take.
Ice, isn't Batista going the Rock route, and isn't he a full-time actor now?
Batista's been awesome. He really has been cranking out some stuff. And it's been a while now for Dave Batista. He's really carved out a lane in the entertainment business on the movie side of things. He was done. I think he was in the second Glass Onion. Yeah, he was in that movie. So
he
Batista,
was.
Yeah,
he's been very good too.
Yeah, he's got some good stuff.
He was also. Is he the guy that was in Skyfall or one of the latest Bonds with Daniel Craig as a
Knives Out 2?
No,
that's what I was just talking. He's
What's
in
his
that
name
for
again?
sure. Dave Batista. Well, that was his wrestling name. Let me make sure that's.
He's been going on a lot of podcasts lately. There was one interview he did.
No. He was in Schefter as the villain, and he was one of the henchmen, one of the guys trying to track down.
Wait, he was
Bond.
in Schefter, or he was?
He's in the movie Schefter.
Oh, gotcha.
Here's
which
what
is
I'll
a
say.
Bond movie.
The Rock's got some really good Disney animated movies he's been a part. Moana, I believe, is one of them that's been
where he's singing.
Numbers are off the charts. But you think of what Dave Bautista's been a part of. He's been in the Dune movies, and he's been in Guardians of the Galaxy. You attach yourself to a Marvel series the way he has, you're out here.
I can't really, and I can't. Here's the weird part, and this is the great objective part. I can only judge him on his acting. I have no idea.
Batista?
No idea. I'm only judging him simply on the acting part, and he's great. I agree. The Rock, that was a little different. Came up through the wrestling. Everybody knew him. I think he's done not just because he's popular, let's get him in the movie. I think he's been very good.
Did you see Black Adam? That was a miss for me. Did you ever see that?
No.
Okay.
No,
You don't need to see that one.
I've seen Central Intelligence, the one he did with Kevin Hart. Which was very funny. He was good. And then what was the movie he did with, the really good movie he did with Stifler? You know, what was that movie?
American Pie?
No, The Rock. The Rock was not in American Pie.
I think he does while you're looking that up.
The Rundown.
He's got
He was in a movie called The Rundown 22 years ago.
He's got a movie coming out, I believe, that's being directed by Martin Scorsese. So you know when you start working with old Uncle Martin,
I'm telling
really
you, I think he's underrated.
Okay.
You guys have not seen The Rundown.
I have not.
It's another little fun little ride.
Is it a baseball movie?
No, it's not. It's he's got to bring home this mobster's son from the Amazon jungle.
Okay.
And it's pretty good.
Okay, folks, if you're looking for a new car to bring home, the place you need to be is McDaniel GM Superstore up in Marion. I was just there a few weeks ago, got me a brand new ride, smelling good, looking clean. They got me in and out in a few hours, and the customer service is absolutely tremendous. Their sales managers are right there on the floor, accessible to the public. They don't hide in their office, and they're going to figure out a great deal just for you. They've got 150 new vehicles on their website. They believe in transparency with every car deal that they make. They've got a 2025 Traverse up to $3,000 off MSRP and 6.8% APR for 72 months for qualified buyers. Head up to McDaniel GM Superstore up in Marion immediately if you need a car. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
All right, we come back, top of the hour, Sports Center update. We talked about busts earlier. Is it possible you could bust and then turn it around? We'll tell you who that may be next. Rothman, Ice, and the Fan.
T-Bone and Tyvis are everything you want in a delicious breakfast. Lots of empty calories, no nutritional value.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan.
Men, the summer is here. Longer days, warmer nights, and romance in the air. Intimate dinners, walks on the beach, dancing in the moonlight. But if you have erectile dysfunction, you know it can ruin romance, both for you and the one you love. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if you have ED, don't let another summer go by without getting treated. Because intimacy is one of the greatest things in life. And fear of not being able to perform should not be something you have to deal with. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated tens of thousands of men. Our protocols work when others don't, and we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. You could even last up to an hour or more and perform like you haven't in years. And for a limited time, we're offering new patients a free first visit to help you get back to feeling like the man you're meant to be. This includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 2 convenient Columbus area locations in Hilliard and Westerville.
Get your air conditioner fixed fast. Call Care Heating and Cooling, 1-800-COOLING.
I can't wait to meet her. Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! It's full Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor!
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me! Marry me, or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line, $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement, $999.99 and qualifying ported. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid card. Allow 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
Many drugs, like cocaine, methamphetamine, and non-prescription pills, are often cut with dangerous opioids like fentanyl. As a result, nearly 14 Ohioans die daily from unintentional overdoses. That's why it's important to carry naloxone, such as Narcan, a life-saving medication that blocks the effects of fentanyl and other opioids. Over the last 5 years, naloxone has saved over 83,000 lives. Help save lives and visit naloxone.ohio.gov to learn more and find free naloxone. Remember, if you see an overdose occurring, always call 911.
We could tell you what makes Giant Eagle special, but we think our customers say it best.
I love the fresh produce. I love the fresh meat.
I'm pretty sure the fish guy knows me by now. We're buds.
I love to grill. That alone keeps me coming back.
The people that work here are so nice and so helpful.
Everybody loves the cakes from Giant Eagle.
On every shelf, in every department, we're always going for better because being your Giant Eagle matters.
This is my Giant Eagle.
This is my Giant Eagle.
This is my Giant Eagle.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Annie's first oil change wasn't as hard as she thought because she went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped her find the right oil and save on an oil filter. He explained the job and showed her free how-tos on AutoZone.com. When she was done, AutoZone recycled her old oil for free. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
If Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea was your best friend, it would be the kind of friend that starts an impromptu dance party in the supermarket aisle that turns into an all-day pool party rager at your place, and you don't even own a pool. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea turns any day into a legendary adventure. It's smooth and refreshing real iced tea with just the right kick of alcohol. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. The Baltimore Ravens have agreed to a one-year, $6 million deal with cornerback Jair Alexander. This reunites him with quarterback Lamar Jackson. The two were teammates at Louisville. The Cincinnati Reds looking to extend their winning streak to 4 games tonight when they host the Minnesota Twins at Great American Ballpark. Nick Lodolo makes the start for Cincy. Bailey Ober goes for Minnesota. Coverage on ESPN Columbus gets underway at 6:40. First pitch is at 7:10. We'll join it in progress here on The Fan at 8. The Cleveland Guardians still on the West Coast taking on the San Francisco Giants at 9:45. Logan Allen takes on Justin Verlander. That's your pitching matchup. This update sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Are you swimming in debt? With rates as low as 8.99% APR, save your summer with a debt consolidation loan from BMI FCU.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and I feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care.
All right, final hour of the program. We will get into a lot of what's going on in the women's professional basketball brawls that are going on and how good or bad that has been for their sport. I do want to give you, this isn't really breaking, but it's interesting to me that, listen, Damon Arnett was a draft bust. There's no way around it. He is now getting the rare shot at turning that around. This is a rare deal to be a former first rounder and then make an NFL return, especially after the stuff that's has happened to him. But I guess he put together a really strong season in the UFL, and he caught the eye of the NFL again. The Texans need corners, and being a first-round pick 5 years ago by Vegas, he didn't play at all. I mean, played, but he didn't play much. And he hasn't played this is such an interesting story because, Matty, he has not played in an NFL game in 4 years. He's had off-the-field trouble. Usually you don't want to touch that guy. And a lot of stuff contributed to him blowing himself out of the league. And he also, here's the other thing. He's 28. Well, that's not old. It's not like somebody that gets a lot of investment. But he's got his life back on track, he says, and he's focused on reproving himself. He was always a very, very good player here. And it's one of those things that he's now joining, a former Buckeye Stroud in Houston and making the most of this second chance. It's a wild ride. This usually does not happen. You need to be pretty damn good and pretty also convincing that you have things going the right direction to be a 28-year-old kid that the NFL took a shot on, chewed up and spit out through a lot of faults of his own, and now is getting that chance again.
No doubt. So he was in the Canadian Football League?
UFL.
The UFL, okay, the last few years. And I think we played some audio from him, AR, a couple of weeks ago, or read a quote to where he was really saying, I've figured things out. Like, I'm a new man, essentially. And NFL teams, I would be worth the, quote, risk, if you will, to bring me in. So if you're Damon Arnett, it's two things going on here. Not only is it awesome that you're back in the league from his perspective, but you get to hop on a moving train for a franchise that believes that they can make a lot of noise in the AFC and NFL as a whole. So you really couldn't ask for much more if you're Damon Arnett. And from Houston's side of things, it's not like they're not looking at Damon Arnett as hey, we're desperate to have you, because they already have Kamari Lassiter and Derek Stingley Jr. as two really good elite corners down there in-house already. So if this doesn't work out and they see some things from Damon that they don't like, then they're probably going to move on. I haven't seen any contract numbers or anything like that. I would be surprised AR if it's more than a year deal at pretty low value for a guy like this, but there's no doubt.
Doesn't sound like it's practice squad.
Okay.
It doesn't sound like that to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they identified some stuff they saw from him on tape in the UFL, and they feel like he can help them out. And so, look, here's a massive second chance for a guy that couldn't get out of his own way. The talent was there, but he just, for whatever reason, couldn't figure it out. Maybe he's matured, and hopefully that'll be the case for him, because he has a chance to be a part of something special down there in H-Town.
Yeah, there's some bad things, man.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way around that. He's reckless driving, and accused of all sorts of stuff, and firearms, and making threats, and, charged with assault with a deadly weapon and all. I mean, there was a lot there to overcome and get through and get past. And I'm not taking him off the hook for that. Whatever price he had to pay for that, hopefully he has paid to either those people he allegedly caused harm to and the lives that maybe he changed in a bad way. But the fact that to be arrested, to be charged, to go through drug charges and firearm charges and be cut by the NFL and then be given a chance back with other teams, Miami, Kansas City, only to be cut again. And by the way, the stuff that happened with Vegas happened again in Kansas City, that he was arrested on assault charges and carrying a gun without a permit and a couple of controlled substance charges. And the fact that if he stays, that's a comeback that we rarely see.
Mm-hmm.
And so, he has a son. He's trying to make the most of this football life that he has left. And the odds were against him. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And he was an all Big Ten dude. He was good. I remember when he got drafted, though, in that COVID draft, thoughts it was a little high, but the Raiders have done that in the past, taking chances on that.
That was John Gruden and Mike Mayock running the show at the time for the Raiders, making that call.
I remember the first-round pick wasn't very good that year either, and he's trying to make a comeback.
Henry Ruggs?
Yeah. He was at some event speaking. He had some, excused absence from prison, whatever the official terminology is for that, because it's definitely not excused absence. But he was speaking at some event, and there's a countdown somewhere out there on Twitter for when his parole is, to see that if he can make it back to the league.
That one is so horrific that I have no feel for it at all. It's interesting. I told you I was watching Ballers last night.
Mm-hmm.
I stumbled into it. And there's this scene where The Rock is speaking at the rookie symposium. And of all people that were in the scene with him was Eddie George. And he looks over, and Eddie's playing himself, obviously. And The Rock looks over to him and says, in front of all these rookies, and says, "See that guy over there? It's Eddie George. For 10,000-yard rushing, he did the whole thing. One of the meanest, baddest running backs in the league." He goes, "And I talked him into a real estate deal." for not a little money, for a lot of money, maybe all his money. And I lost it. And I lost a friend in the process and all that. And he's trying to say these things in front of these people. And this is just money. This isn't, lives and stuff like that. This has nothing to do with Ruggs, who, killed a woman and her dog in that car. And he looks over to him in the scene and goes, he said something like, you won't forgive me, or you shouldn't forgive me, but you should know that I'm sorry. Like he looked at him and said it. And so when I saw Ruggs, Ruggs is going to go through this, and I have such a hard time with this story because it's so horrific and so senseless that it just bugs me so much. And so, but I checked that side of me today when I was reading the story, Maddie, and I started thinking about every time this guy goes in front of any type of people or talks or anything, he's going to be asked that question. What would you say to the family if they were here?
Yeah.
So he's going to have to keep doing this apology, and what, genuine or not, whatever it is, he can't bring that woman back. And it's so just horrific. And so I really don't, Ruggs, he's gone to me.
Yeah, he's out of sight, out of mind.
Whatever guy he was, or whatever horrendously stupid thing he did. And I heard him talk about it. I wish he could have, turn back the clock. Of course. And I just, boy, I tell you, some of these people are different than me, or wired differently, or whatever. I have just no feeling I have no opinion on apology, good, bad, and different. It's just so
it's going to hit different for everybody. There's no doubt. And I think, we're talking about Henry Ruggs here and Damon Arnett. Excuse me. What it speaks to is how important the draft process is for teams and really getting to know who they're drafting. Not as a player, but as people too. Because the domino effect of this in the football world is you're losing your job. Mike Mayock, John Gruden spent 2 first-round picks on guys that they got nothing from. And after that, they were just completely out of the mix, that being the Raiders, and have been for a while. And that's why, you hear from GMs and scouts like, hey, we're not only talking to their college coaches, we're talking to their high school coaches, we're talking to their teachers, their principals, and all of that, because there's such important decisions that hold so much weight. And yeah, that's why I really respect these teams that have to go through so much when you talk about all these prospects and getting to know them, because there's a lot there, and guys will put on a front just to get to the money and get to that finish line. So it's a tricky game. It really is a dicey game. But yeah, that draft for them was no doubt a swing and a miss in a very, very bad way.
19th pick overall was Damon Arnett that year in 2020. And he had the size, had the strength. We watched him play. He was a very, very good corner. He wasn't a first-round corner. They reached, and sometimes those work, or sometimes guys have to try to live up to that, and he didn't. And now that he has this shot, to me, it's so rare, especially when the talent, the conveyor belt just keeps flowing into the league. And here's a guy who's 28 with the UFL, and they're going to take a shot at him. This may be a blip.
Right. He may not even make the
team.
Right.
I don't want to oversell it.
Right.
But the fact that he signed,
he's got another opportunity,
tells you they see some football there that's left.
No doubt.
All right, we'll come back. Speaking of stars, the next star receiver in the NFL. This guy's going to identify him. That's next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
Hey folks, it's Austin Ward here, and I remember the first time I understood that old saying about giving a man a fish. It made so much sense, and I see examples of it all the time. Take the new weight loss meds, for instance. Think about this. You take a shot, you eat less, and you lose weight. But the second you stop, the weight comes back. You never actually changed anything besides eating less of the same bad things. I wasn't interested in renting my results. I wanted to own them. That's why I chose Awaken 180. I needed a lifestyle change, I knew it, and I was excited about it. A medication-free path to long-term weight loss. That's exactly what I got. It's been 1.5 years since I dropped my 50 pounds, and I've kept it all off.
Awaken 180 taught me how to adjust my approach to food, a real-time education on how to keep it off while losing the weight. I say, learn how to fish. It's easy, it's fast, and for the long-term bonus, no medications. Do what I did and choose the solution for weight loss. Awaken180weightloss.com, 844-346-1800.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here, and so are the summer savings at RCD RV. Don't miss RCD RV's summer kickoff sale running June 7th through the 21st. New RVs starting as low as $12,995. Now's the time to make a splash this summer. Hurry in. Those deals will not last long. Find unbeatable savings, unforgettable fun, and everything you need to hit the road at RCDRV.com. Visit our locations, Delaware, Heath, and Pataskala, or shop online anytime at RCDRV.com.
Matty Ice here. When I needed a new Chevy, I headed to McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. Right now, get up to $12,000 off MSRP on a 25 Silverado LD. They've got no market adjustments, no hidden costs, and sales managers are on the floor ready to help. That's been the McDaniel difference since 1916. They're just a short drive north off Route 23 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. McDaniel GM Superstore, where great deals meet a century of trust. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
What John Smiley, Chairman and CEO, wants you to know about First Bank of Central Ohio.
Our competitive advantage is the number of years we've been in Central Ohio and the fact that we're able to make decisions here locally that make sense for the client. At the end of the day, it's the ability for us to say, okay, what can we do to make your banking easier for you?
Experience what it's like to be first at fbcentralohio.com. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Summer's heating up, and so are the deals at Germain Toyota of Columbus. Whether you're cruising to the lake or hauling your weekend gear, Germain, well, they've got the truck to help you get it done. Right now, get 2.99 APR for up to 72 months on the rugged 2024 Tacoma, or step up to the powerful 2025 Tundra, also 2.99 for 72 months. These summer savings, they won't last forever. So visit Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or online at germaintoyota.net.
Hello, big voice guy here. I've been hired to tell you all about the fans' YouTube channel. Did you know you can immerse yourself in Buckeye goodness like Austin and Burb's daily podcast, The Beat? Yes, sirree, Bob. Subscribe today.
No one knows better than a mom what's right for our kids. But with so many apps and devices, protecting them feels harder than ever. My name is Emily. My husband and I have 3 kids, and we live in Strongsville. Ohio needs to act and put parents back in charge by passing a common sense law to require app stores to get parental approval before children download apps.
By requiring parental consent and age verification in the App Store, parents will have a simple, secure, and reliable way to choose what's best for their own kids. That's why Ohio's Fraternal Order of Police and the Ohio Suicide Prevention Foundation both support this common sense approach.
With one clear place to approve the apps they use, Ohio can put parents back in charge.
Tell your state legislators to pass the App Store Accountability Act now. Learn more at OWLR.org. Paid for by Ohio Women Lead Right.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
A summer-like day for us. Afternoon highs will get into the upper 80s and a slight chance of thunderstorms throughout the day. The better chance will be as we go into tonight around sunset into the overnight hours, some which could be on the stronger side. Overnight lows right around 70. And then for Thursday, we are cooler by about 10 degrees, with still a lingering chance of showers and storms. Otherwise, it will be partly sunny. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Leads.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. Or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, a little Bet365 time, Matty.
Let's get into it, brother, because at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. Guardians picking up a nice little win on the road in San Francisco, spoiling Rafael Devers' debut as a Giant, so that was cool to see. They've got a great new sign-up offer for you over at Bet365. And here it is. All you have to do is bet $5 and you will get $150 in bonus bets, whether your bet wins or loses. So check out their website or download the Bet365 app today. I'm looking at a bet boost over at Bet365, AR.
Love the boost over there.
You know, I love these home run specials, man. The daily dingers. If you check that out under the MLB tab right now, two of the best players, or the two best players in the sport, combining an Aaron Judge home run with a Shohei Ohtani
Yanks have
home
been
run.
shut out, 3 straight games?
Plus 989. They're due, AR.
Both of them to go yard?
Both of them to go yard.
Be great. Let's hit that.
Listen, the Dodgers and Padres, the hate is real. The sports hate is real between the two, and I'm here for it.
Are they pitching to him?
Yeah, they're pitching to him.
Okay.
They're pitching to him.
Make sure.
Yeah, I'm going dingers for Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani tonight. Plus 989 is the juice on that.
That'd be so great if we could hit that. I'll stay with baseball.
Yeah.
Your guy, Luis Castillo.
I miss him. I miss Luis.
He's playing Boston today or tonight. I don't know if it's 4:10 or 7:10. Who knows?
Little 4:10 action.
I'm going to say that Luis Castillo, who hasn't been over 6.5 strikeouts, he's once at his last 17 starts, that I would take the under on that. And then I have my boy Taj Bradley going for Tampa against Baltimore. And I'll take the under on 17.5 outs. He's only gone 4 innings twice in his last 2 starts, 4 innings back to back. Baltimore's probably not the greatest team for me to do this against because maybe he would get in 6 innings, but I'll mental hedge that and take the under.
Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the Bet365 app today. 21 plus only. Must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. Offer subject to meeting qualifying criteria.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
All right, Maddie, we know the stars in the league. Who's the next one?
At which position, my man?
Receiver.
Yeah, the headliners, the names on the marquee, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, those guys are your guys. They are the faces of the wide receiver position in the world. But I guess Pete Prisco, covering the NFL for a long time over at CBS, he's identified a guy that may be ready to make that type of leap and be viewed as the next Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson.
You know where Brian Thomas is going to be on this list next year? Pushing Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson to be one of the best in the league.
We're going to see. I don't trust that quarterback down there.
That kid is truly going to be a special player.
There's only your point. Yeah, you were talking last week about how you were at Jaguars camp and everyone's focused on Travis Hunter and what he brings to the table, but you said, what about Brian Thomas Jr.?
Brian Thomas Jr.
I love him.
Is the number one wide receiver, and by this time next year, we're going to be talking about Brian Thomas Jr. in the same class as Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson.
He's fast.
He's
as fast or faster, and it's going to help our guy not bust in Trevor Lawrence, or it should. And his trajectory is going up. I'll give him that. He put him right in the top tier. That's risky.
It's ridiculous.
Now, I will expand his role from the slot. That's fine. But
he's not going to be Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson. I don't see that. And especially now when you talk about adding Travis Hunter into this mix, he's going to take something off Brian Thomas's plate. I just don't. I don't.
He's the most unknown potential star.
I think we would have to be, for me personally, you got to stack up 4 or 5 years in a row of high-end Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson productivity for me to put you in that class. Like the Amon-Ra St. Browns of the world, those guys have been doing it for a little minute now. Like, I can't put Brian Thomas in there after 1 year, even after 2 years.
There was a 1,300-year season.
CeeDee Lamb.
Season.
I'm not taking away from it was awesome.
He's very good. He's on the upward trajectory for sure.
To get into the Chase and Jefferson class, you got to take a few laps around the track for me.
No, and I think that's fine. I think that's fair. And I like what Pete's done here because he's made a prediction. And so What he's saying is that after this season, is that what he's saying? After this season, he's not saying now. He's not saying, he's saying look out for him. And I kind of like that. Now, we can debate whether he's right or wrong. I think he's probably going to be wrong based on the team and the quarterback. Like, he's not attached to something perfect right now. Whereas some of these guys, and I'm not saying that Jalen Hurts is perfect, but A.J. Brown's legit. We know Justin Jefferson now is going to go back to having essentially a rookie quarterback. And I questioned this. You got it right. I was wrong. I did not think that Jefferson, even though you could force feed him, I didn't trust Darnold. That maybe there's the Viking in me for sure, but that was beyond. He's been in the conversation as the best receiver since he started, and so he's lived up to that. But he just said Jefferson, Chase, and was that the two?
Just the two best in the sport. Aaron, let me throw this at you. Right now, you need a wide receiver 1 that's only played 1 year in the league. Would you rather have Brian Thomas Jr. or Malik Neighbors? Former teammates. LSU Tigers.
I think I'd rather have Neighbors.
Me too. There's something about his I think, touched by the hand of God talent that I think is just different from Brian Thomas Jr.
His production will improve if the offense improves, but he had
outstanding. Horrific quarterback play.
Inconsistent would be putting it nicely.
And he still was up there in the top 10.
Right.
So I would roll with Neighbors.
How about this? Well. I got a name for you that we thought was going to be great, has shown to be really good. Drake London.
I listen. I think there's more meat left on the bone.
Absolutely. I think he's been very good. I think he's gone very under the radar for 3 years. And
that's an offense, AR. I cannot wait to see get after it this year, because we watched Penix at Washington, and I know it was college, but that dude can spin it. And so you can open up that offense with Pitts and Brian Thomas Jr. and Drake London. And Bijan Robinson at running back, but another receiver. I think Darnell Mooney's down there. I think he can be a good
complement.
Darnell. Yeah, a nice compliment. Yeah. You know, as a number 2, number 3, like that offense, I think it's going to be fun this year.
It was all about keeping him healthy. Penix.
That's it.
Yeah,
right.
And
when he was healthy, AR, he was productive. But those first few years at Indiana, it was rough, man. Like brutal injuries too.
I know. Did everything he could, man. Almost got him past Ohio State. Here, COVID, right?
Yeah. Put a scare into him.
Yeah.
They were electric, man. They really were electric.
They could sling it.
And then he got paired with a Dunze and the gang over there, and he was really playing at a high clip. But there's a three.
Those are probably the 3. Neighbors is probably even more well known now, just the way he flashed on the scene, than even people who casually watch might be like, oh yeah, I've heard that name. And I think London's kind of been lost in the sauce, and I think Thomas has been kind of lost in there. They're not attached to top-tier quarterbacks, but production-wise, they've all been there. And like I said, I like Pete's predicting that he will be a household name. He lost me when he got him into Jefferson and Jamar, but
maybe a few years from now he will be.
He's
that guy.
fast.
I'll tell you what, man.
That dude can fly.
Last year's draft class produced 3 really good rookie wide receivers with the guys that we're talking about, and Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. And then Ladd McConkey. Don't sleep on what he did last year.
Very productive.
There's also a pass-catching tight end last year.
And Brock Powers. That was a problem. Yeah, so 4
and you know
rookie
what name
pass
we haven't
catchers.
even named?
Who?
Marv.
Right.
Well, yes, and I think he's one of those that are kind of, can you buy him a hair lower this year? Or will he still be? Because he was the guy. Everybody needed to have him in fantasy.
In fantasy, I think there will be some hesitation.
That's right.
To grab him where he was getting drafted last year. But
he's going to be a value.
It's a chemistry thing. He and Kyler just could not get on the same page. I mean, the efficiency there was just not good.
No, it was
not good.
Underwhelming massively. I mean, it was, I mean, it's.
I mean, there was 116 targets that went Marvin's way, and he and Kyler only connected on 62 of those. They got to be more efficient than that.
He wins one-on-one. You got to find him.
He's going to do his job. He is. The quarterback's got to hold his end of the bargain.
All right. If you're not holding up your end of the bargain, or Dad's not, or just you just feel it. It's not feeling right. Could be a chance that it's low T. Well, even though Father's Day is come and gone, Low T Center is trying to give Dad an extra boost, you an extra boost of health and energy, and live your best life. Hit the summer running. Low T Center is now offering free weight loss consultation and a free T-test as this special offer as they continue to celebrate dads post-Father's Day. The treatment would be personalized to them, yourself. I want to speak to you individually as well, that you'll have the freedom to choose in-center care or at-home treatment and put yourself back in control of your health. From now until the 21st, you can enjoy a free B12 shot when you stop in for TRT and weight loss. The offer's limited. You can book now. Very easy. FixMyLowT.com. That's FixMyLowT.com. We come back. Women's basketball on the map for the right reasons. Maybe. We'll discuss in 2 minutes. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
I think I just wrote the song of the summer. Listen.
That's just you drinking a Big Gulp from Speedway.
And just 89 cents for any size with Speedy Rewards? That's a hit. The convenience stores of Speedway. Valid through 6/24/25. See app for full terms.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line, $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement, $999.99 and qualifying forwarded. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid card below 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-426-VEIN. That's 614-426-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Miss a minute of Rothman and Ice? Check out the podcast.
Type in Rothman and Ice wherever you get your podcasts. Download and subscribe.
Back to Rothman and Ice.
Villains everywhere. The WNBA is unbelievable right now. I was in Chicago, and I went to visit my stepdad on Father's Day morning, or mid-morning. And I walk in the house, and he's watching the WNBA.
Mm-hmm. Chicago Sky?
Chicago was on. I'm telling you, I fell over. I'm like, hey, the U.S. Open's on. The early guys, they're going on.
That's his TV.
I'm like,
you don't tell him
what to do. What is
TV.
going on here? And it's and this wasn't about what happened last night, which, by the way, we have a former Buckeye in J.C. Sheldon now who is leaning into whatever villain she's going to be, but I don't even look at her that way. What happened last night is being accused of being dirty on several occasions, and that players should have been tossed and this, that, and the other. You can't tell me that wasn't great for their sport, because I could sit here and say that's completely ridiculous, that this is basketball, not football, not wrestling. What are they doing? So this is how I read it, and you can tell me how you read it. Because I've heard people go both ways with this, where it's JC's a dirty player, at least when it comes to Clark, and that Clark flops, total flopped and all that, and is bringing it a lot on herself. And so I looked at this last night. When you go up against Caitlin Clark, you're looking at that is your Super Bowl. That is your time. I don't know how many times you're going to play her, and JC's went up to her against her in college, but Like, now you have been tasked with guarding perhaps the greatest weapon in the sport right now. And so my feeling is, if that were me, you would overplay, you would try to be as physical as you can to get her off her game a little bit, whatever you need to do. And when you're overplaying somebody, essentially kind of harassing them in a sports way, you're going to be a little reckless. And I don't think that JC purposely tried to poke her in the eye. I think overplaying her and not knowing when she was going to rise up or whatever, she raked her in the face.
Yeah, so this what that comes down to, AR, is intent, which we'll never be able to judge and get in her mind and go back in the hot tub time machine and, figure, oh, was she thinking at the time, this is my time to poke her in the eye or push her in the face or anything like that? She was, we'll never know that. We just won't. I think, well, my favorite part of all of this, because nobody got injured or anything serious like that, so it's, not the end of the world, because this is basketball and sports. We see this a lot, is credit to Sophie Cunningham. Credit to Sophie Cunningham, who is Caitlin Clark's teammate, for getting her lick back.
See, but I think she was following her on a break.
But I think what was baked into that was who created the foul on Caitlin Clark was J.C. Sheldon. She was the one that was going in for that fast break layup, and Sophie Cunningham in her mind said, no, we're not having it. This is our time.
It's free layup.
It's similar to what we see in baseball, where you throw at a guy, we're coming back at you. And so J.C. Sheldon had now a target on her back because of what she did to the star player, and I love that people came to the defense for Caitlin, because remember, we didn't see a lot of that last year, where women in the league were doing the same thing to Caitlin that they are doing now, where they're getting really physical with her because, I don't know, whether it's jealousy, whatever it is, I don't know. But she didn't have veterans that would come to her defense, and now she has that. And so that was my favorite part of all this, because this is just now the world that Caitlin has to live in. She has the target on her back because she is the face of the league. Whether it's women's basketball, men's basketball, we see this all the time. We saw this right out of the gate, remember, with Lonzo Ball. Remember when his dad was doing all the media tours and telling everybody how great Lonzo was going to be? His very first game in the NBA, Patrick Beverley was pushing him around, pushed him down to the floor. Like, this is what you sign up for when you are what Caitlin Clark is and what she means to not only the Fever, but what she means to the WNBA itself.
So a couple things there. One, if you go back and watch the highlight from last night, did she get poked in the eye? Yes. Did Sheldon do that on purpose? No. What she did was they were bodying each other. Caitlin was backing her down into the lane. It looked like Caitlin might do a step back. She reached out to try to, if the ball's going to be there, I'm going to be able to rip it. Instead, raked her in the face. That's what happened. Now, what also happened after that is that Sheldon then didn't throw her hands up and go, hey, my bad, unintentional. She actually went towards Caitlin.
Well, because Caitlin gave her a little shove back.
Well, she gave her a little, she was frustrated. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So then Sheldon
that's why Sheldon came back.
The most amazing part of the whole thing is not two very, players, physical defense, an incidental eye poke. I read it more of that Caitlin didn't push her back. Caitlin actually kind of spun holding her eye, and Sheldon was up in her grill. That's what I saw. And then they met again. Caitlin did not go back at her after getting poked. She kind of turned, and then Sheldon didn't. She made sure she fortified her position. So great. They both stood their ground. I got no problem. The girl that didn't even see the after frustration, who was looking the other way, just saw Caitlin and Sheldon doing something and went in and just hip checked her to the ground.
That was the second time, too. Marina Mabry.
Mabry.
Goodness.
And she's known for that around the league. She is that.
Goodness.
She is the enforcer for the Sun. She is a Draymond Green type of character.
How did she not get ejected?
In the WNBA.
Did she get ejected? She did not get ejected.
I don't know.
No, nobody did. I think JC got a flagrant, and the other two, did they get
there was
flagrants or techs or whatever?
I think flagrant on JC, tech on Caitlin Clark.
Okay. The girl that came in who wasn't involved.
Marina.
she needed to get tossed. And I'm okay. That didn't happen, whatever. I'm not going.
I don't think she needed to get tossed for that.
She went in. She wasn't even involved in the thing and body checked her to the ground.
That's a tech.
I know, but Caitlin shoved her. Shoved her twice.
Right.
That's a tech.
All right.
Marina Mabry is way better than Sophie Cunningham in this situation, by the way. Sophie Cunningham took a cheap shot in a 17-point game with 1 minute left.
Tackled her to the ground.
2 quarters later.
Yeah, and then started a little brouhaha right there by the same. That's the other part that we really had to be taught. They were getting after it. The kind of little mini Malice in the Palace over there at Gainbridge Fieldhouse yesterday in Indy. And so, listen, a lot of respect for Sophie Cunningham for doing what she did.
Really?
Tackling her.
Protect your teammate.
That was
your
2
star
quarters
player.
later in
Doesn't
a 17-point game.
It's the person that created the storm early.
JC's momentum is taking her to the hoop. When Cunningham puts her hands on her to prevent the free layup or whatever, she didn't throw her to the ground. The momentum of the hold took her to the ground.
The play result, yeah.
I mean, maybe I'm just over. Maybe the whole thing's being overblown.
I mean, there was some malicious intent.
Yeah. I mean, it's
you have to protect your star player, no matter at what
2 quarters later.
No matter what point the game is, you have to take care of Caitlin Clark.
She got a shot in on her. I don't know if I would call that protecting her.
No, you have
this
to.
This was so long after that.
No, but my point is,
any protection should have been done then when she got poked in the eye.
When you are a teammate of somebody, the person that tried to do damage to your teammate, I don't care where we're at in the game, somebody's got to get their lick back and let other teams know in the league we ain't having it.
Well,
Caitlin Clark started it, though.
She started it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see the. I thought she's the one that just got poked in the eye and then got frustrated.
It's tough to keep up with because there were like 6 different scuffles in this game.
Which one? I'm talking about the main one when she got poked in the eye by Sheldon.
Before that, Caitlin shoved JC first. They were having some.
Oh, I saw the rebound where she kind of stopped and then she hit her in the back.
No, it was something at midcourt. They were just jawing at one another, and
there was a back and
shoved
forth.
her, and then Mabry actually came in again. So Mabry shoved her twice that game.
She wants to smoke.
Here's the incredible irony to all of this is that you have this girl in Caitlin Clark who has, like it or not, is the star of the league and has put them, transcended the league.
No question.
Not saying that other people haven't been talented, hear me correctly, but has brought in people that really didn't have a lot of interest because she has Steph Curry range. So, all right. And you have these other women that should be, in a way, making sure that Caitlin survives forever and we all thrive.
No. Ain't no way. They ain't thinking that way.
I'm just saying, it's the great irony is that she is the golden goose. And you don't want to squash that. And so, but they are taking it as competitors, which I love, as every time that girl gets on the court, Caitlin Clark, that is your Dockich Jordan moment. This is your moment to say, listen, I'm getting that shot, and they're taking it.
Caitlin Clark is not 100% innocent with how she goes about playing on the court in her antics. She'll talk trash. She'll, have the tongue out after hitting big threes and all of that. So she brings some of this onto herself. I think this is great, though, because Caitlin's not shying away from any of this, and people aren't backing down to her. And I think that's a good blend for this league because we're sitting here talking about a random regular season game between the Indiana Fever and Connecticut Sun.
Here, listen, this is the very elementary analysis. In this, just in a vacuum, Caitlin gets poked in the eye. She's frustrated. And instead of it just being that, JC makes sure after that raking, incidental, gets up in her face, does not give her an inch to even turn back.
I love it.
And when Caitlin turned back and they were again nose to nose,
get off me.
That's when Caitlin said, you just poked me in the eye. At least you can do is give me some space.
Give me some vibes.
And so I do love it. But the girl that came in and just body checked her,
I'm telling you.
She's fine
to
too.
the ground.
All 3 of them are fine. JC's fine. Caitlin's fine. Mabry's fine.
So the moral of the story is maybe it is great. Play on, give them the text, and just call it what it is. Everyone's talking about it. But it was, I'm not telling you that was pure basketball. But for that league, it may be the greatest thing ever.
It is.
By the way, broadcasters need to quit being losers and apologizing for fights that are going on because fights are interesting.
They happen all the time. We celebrate fights in hockey. It's one of the things that drives me nuts. And
this
every
country
other
loves
sport,
the UFC. We like combat.
Correct. We crush all these other athletes for fighting in baseball and football and in basketball, but hockey we celebrate it.
This is just not what we came here to see.
Come on, we can't have it both ways.
We'll come back. Tell the truth next. Rothman, Ice, and the Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hey, it's Anthony for Orthopedic One. I'm not invincible anymore. I never was, but I refuse to punt on things I still love to do. That's why over the past several years, when I've had things creep up, like back pain, shoulder issue, elbow problem, I've had it all, I've always chosen Orthopedic One. That's because Orthopedic One is Ohio's largest physician-owned orthopedic practice with 60 physicians in every specialty. Find a physician or location near you at orthopedic1.com. Orthopedic One. This is where you go to get better.
Stories like this are really who we are. Hi, it's Steve Lindsay with Lindsay Honda. One of my son's coaches was having an issue with his transmission in his Honda. He had gotten quoted almost $9,000. He's like, can you help me out on the price and getting one through your Honda dealership? And I said, yeah. I said, but let's bring the vehicle in and let's make sure you, in fact, do need a transmission. We did a complete flush on his transmission and a software update on it, and that fixed his problem. And this guy has an extra $8,500 in his pocket because he reached out and I was able to connect him with my staff. We're going to take a step back and to make sure we're actually treating the core issue, not just the symptom.
This month at Lindsay Honda, choose a 2025 Honda Ridgeline RTL, Honda HR-V or CR-V, and pay just $299 a month at our famous Lindsay Honda Trade-A-Thon. We'll trade for anything and give you $1,000 more for your vehicle all month long. Visit lindsayhonda.com for details.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
It's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, I got the nicest Google review today. Dewey from Gehanna said, we cannot believe we are able to get the Pella look and quality at the cost we did.
I got a review too. Listen to this. These windows were great. Oh boy. For about a year. Looks like I'll need to renew, in quotes for some reason, my windows way too soon. Repeat customer?
Get the window that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus at PellaColumbus.com.
I can't wait to meet her. Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! It's full Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor!
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me! Marry me, or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
Are you ready for 971 The Race? It all goes down Saturday, June 21st.
Presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center.
T-Bone, Reeser, Tyvus, and Common Man request your presence. 971therace.com. Do it.
With rates as low as 5.54% APR and a $400 cash bonus when you refinance with BMI Federal Credit Union, now is the perfect time to take advantage of the BMI FCU Summer Savings Event. Visit bmifcu.org/refinance for more details.
He shoots, he scores! It's a great time of year to be a fan, but the fun stops when you or a loved one can't control your gambling. Maryhaven is here to help with in-person, virtual, and group options. Learn more at maryhaven.com.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Right now, Heritage Farm boneless chicken breasts are on sale for just $2.49 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Window Nation. Now buy 4 windows, get 4 free. Plus a free entry door with a house of windows. Visit windownation.com.
All right, take us home, big guy.
All right, the fan poll today. Interesting one here. Are you happy for Sergei Bobrovsky, affectionately known as Goalie Bob, that he's won back-to-back Stanley Cups? Keynote, not with this franchise.
Am I happy? I don't know if happy is the right word for me personally. AR, I don't think I'm moved either way emotionally with feeling like he wronged our Jackets. Obviously, the financial stuff was a big factor in why he didn't
wrong us.
Yeah, I don't think he did.
We weren't going to pay him $10 million a year.
Right. And so I'm not happy for him. I don't have any beef towards Bob at all. So I guess I'm indifferent on the whole situation. Like, I didn't watch him yesterday after that clock finally hit triple zeros and sit there and think I wish it didn't happen for him. So I'm indifferent about the situation for Bob. He's a heck of a goalie. Worked out well for him. Unfortunately, hasn't worked out well for us. There's been inconsistencies in net here, and we just got to hope our Jackets figure it out.
Timing's everything.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people that just say that he would achieved this by sticking with us or Philly. It's not true. He's a 2-time Cup winner. Won the Vezina twice. There are a lot of Flyers people that wish they could go back in time and not trade him to us. So has that turned out on paper to be maybe the worst trade in their history? It's possible based on what he's meant in the position he plays. To answer the original question, there are a lot of people that do feel weird about ex-Jackets lifting cups. I don't. I'm kind of with you on this. There's nothing, I have no animosity towards it. He went, and not only did he go to a great area of the country all year round and make a ton of money and also be successful. He checked every single box. Why would I deny him that?
Right.
We are at a disadvantage when it comes to that. And so we just have to kind of admit that. Most guys, this is different than a guy just going to a nothing organization for the money and the sunshine and not caring about winning. He does. You hear people talk about him. There's nobody that works harder than him. Nobody. So am I just going to fault him for not wanting to live the rest of his time in Columbus? No, because I wonder if we would have paid him, maybe he would have stayed. But it just wasn't, the timing didn't make sense for us. And I wasn't that big into paying a goalie where we were that amount of money. He makes a difference. He's great. Your original question is, are you happy for him? Yeah, I would say I have a decent feeling for him for getting this done.
That reminds me of St. Louis. For whatever reason, St. Louis sports fans like root for their guys wherever else they go and kind of like view that as their own victory, which is really, really weird to me because my initial instinct with this is like, it's like spiteful and FOMO like combined, where it's like, wait, like I spent all this time wanting to watch, Bob or whoever whoever your favorite team is. Like, I watched this player rooting for a championship, and now I have to see him wearing someone else's uniform, celebrating the way I thought he was going to be celebrating wearing mine.
It's kind of like
that hurts.
When we talk about conference play in football, where it's like, okay, my team didn't win it, but somebody from our conference won it.
Oh, man.
So
if
I feel good about
tracking Big Ten bowl records, you are out of your mind.
It depends whether they're playing the SEC or not, right? Or depending on who they're playing.
No.
Because you don't share anything in that.
If Iowa beats Kentucky, who cares?
Well, let me ask you this. You're probably the wrong guy to ask because you're a Notre Dame guy.
Yeah, when it comes to
I graduated from Ohio State.
But
when it comes to conference questions, please ask the Notre Dame fan.
Yeah. No, I was going to ask it this way. If there are people in this town that don't like Notre Dame, right?
Oh, plenty.
Okay. They probably have no feel for Indiana. Probably don't like them either, but never really had the hatred towards them because they never felt they were a threat. Were they rooting for Indiana to beat Notre Dame? more so because they don't like Notre Dame more than they were carrying the flag for the Big Ten.
Yeah.
So
because if Michigan was in the playoffs, they wouldn't have been rooting for Michigan.
No,
let's go
God,
Big
no.
Ten.
You're never rooting for your arch rival in anything.
I'm saying if Penn State gets to the national championship game this year and they play Texas, I don't know.
Okay.
And if Penn State wins the national championship, I don't understand fans of other Big Ten programs that feel like they've done something for them or their program. You get no part of that. Penn State is not saying, we did it for all the Michigan State fans.
I don't, technically, you might actually get money for that.
But
still, I get your point.
But I agree with you, but I also think like there's a small section that if you had to pick one, you would err towards.
I want both teams to lose.
Well, no, but that's not a choice.
In my house,
it's
it is.
not happening. It's not realistic.
I want both of them to lose.
I understand you want that, but it's not realistic.
We got to go. Hey, if you miss anything from our show, don't worry. You can always catch up wherever you get your podcast. Type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3 will be waiting there for you. Our podcast is sponsored by the wonderful folks at Bet365.
Talk to you tomorrow at high noon. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Just when you thought afternoons couldn't get any dumber.
You fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you?
Common Man and Tinny.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Your home for dumb. The Fan.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman. From sold-out stadiums under Friday night lights to more than 100,000 screaming fans on the banks of the Olentangy. America's football capital is right here in Ohio. But the greatest football players and coaches of all time live up the road in Canton at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And a trip there should be on every football fan's list. Go to 971thefan.com/goldjacket and enter to win a VIP experience to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Ignite the passion. Relive the glory.
When sudden illness or injury strike, Ohio State offers 3 types of urgent care to meet any of your needs. From traditional urgent care to our specialized orthopedic urgent care for activity-related injuries and advanced urgent care for more serious injury and illness. Ohio State's experts treat everything from broken bones to ear infections and colds and flu. When your illness or injury can't wait, the choice is clear.
I'm an old school Joe, and my philosophy is simple and effective. At the end of the day, it's not what you win or lose, it's what you save. And Bet and Reduce Juice at Prime Sports Ohio is the way to save money on every single bet. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Bob Yoakum, president of Rockford Homes, talks about what makes First Bank of Central Ohio different.
I would say it starts by caring. It starts by doing what you say you're going to do and following through on it. When you're talking about local, you're talking about relationships and people that matter to you. I don't care if that's personally or professionally.
Experience what it's like to be first at First Bank of Central Ohio. Visit fbcentralohio.com for more details. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
The big focus in America today is on your health, and you're determined to look beyond pills and steroids and surgery to feel your best, right? So I want to talk to the person who is in pain right now. Or maybe it's someone you love. You've done everything they told you to do, and the pain just keeps coming back. Hey, it's Tyvus Powell for QC Kinetics. They are different. These are not quick fixes. This is a revolutionary treatment that works to give your body long-term relief. You'll meet face-to-face with Dr. Aaron Wilkoff and the QC Kinetics medical team. They'll explain how their regenerative treatments take your body's own healing power and helps heal and restore your damaged tissue. These are well-respected protocols that include potent and powerful cellular level treatments. QC Kinetics has helped tens of thousands of people, so many of them right here in Columbus, Ohio. They'd be honored to help you as well. Yes, you can say goodbye to that chronic pain and live your best life. Find out if you're a good candidate. The consultation is free. Go to qckinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
A healthy body needs good food. This summer, the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce is sponsoring Sun Meals, a summer food program where kids eat free. Children under 18 receive healthy meals and no sign-up is required. Locations may be right in your neighborhood. Call 1-866-348-6479 or visit education.ohio.gov/kidseat for meal locations and times. That's education.ohio.gov/kidseat.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line, $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement, $999.99 and qualifying forwarded. For well-qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid card below 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
Road trip! This summer at Tire Discounters, your tires are your passport to savings, because you're driving to Paris,
Texas,
then it's off to Rome,
Georgia,
and you'll be kissing the Blarney Stone in Dublin,
Ohio!
Right now, save up to $434 when you buy 4 tires, and that includes a free alignment and oil change. Stop at Tire Discounters before you see the world.